Welcome to this Black Sea Action Day conference. It's a pleasure to have you join us in this important day. To be honest, I was in 1996, I was one of the people who was in the original ceremony. So was Professor Bayram Öztürk, and so was Vladimir Mamayev, and I believe Ayak Öztürk as well. It's been 29 years, and it's a pleasure to continue working in the region to ensure that we have a sustainable Black Sea. So I will give the floor to Professor Bayram Öztürk, who is the director of the Turkish Marine Research Foundation. Professor, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Sibel. It's a great honor for me to make this opening speech, Black Sea Action Day. In fact, Turkish Marine Research Foundation has a lots of effort, as you know, about the Black Sea and protection of the Black Sea and security of the Black Sea, sustainable fisheries in the Black Sea, mitigation of the pollution in the Black Sea, etc. So we have a huge effort for more than 26 years because our foundation is going to 30 years the next years. So we do lots of activity. This is the one of the important activity because of the Black Sea Day, International Black Sea Day. So I'm very grateful to you and all the participants because they will share experience, and we will get exchange of information among the scientists, stakeholders, NGOs, and all the participants today. Besides, as you know, Black Sea is semi-enclosed sea and very sensitive all kind of pollutions and anthropogenic activities. So hopefully today, end of the meeting, we will have some concrete result for the protection of the Black Sea, for the better Black Sea, for the peaceful Black Sea. Thank you, Sibel. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Öztürk. So you may all realize there's a small change in the program. Anyway, you will realize that I was not the moderator, but Professor Öztürk is out on sea, so we were a bit afraid it could there could be disconnection problems, and therefore here I am. So I would like to now give the floor to Ambassador Georgi Panayotov, who is the executive manager of the Black Sea Economic Cooperation Secretariat. He is responsible for European project, and therefore we are very grateful he is contributing with the keynote opening presentation. The floor is yours, Ambassador.
Thank you, Mrs. Siber. Dear Professor Öztürk, dear ladies and gentlemen, today as we gather to mark Black Sea Action Day, we celebrate not only the beauty and richness of our shared sea, but also the enduring cooperation that unites our countries in protecting it. This day commemorates the signing of the Strategic Action Plan for the Rehabilitation and Protection of the Black Sea, a landmark regional framework that laid the foundation for approaching 3 decades of coordinated action under the Bucharest Convention. It's both a reminder of our collective responsibility and a renewed call to act decisively to ensure the health, resilience, and sustainability of the Black Sea, especially in the face of a changing climate. Black Sea impacts much larger the adjacent territories, and we reasonable use the concept of a wider Black Sea region. Beyond the immediate neighborhood, the Black Sea importance is global. As a critical connector between Europe and Southern Caucasus, Central Asia, and the Eastern Mediterranean, the Black Sea region plays a strategic role for European and overall global security, international trade, energy, and food security, notably grain. The states surrounding the Black Sea generate a GDP of approximately 2 trillion euro. The EU is the largest trade partner for most of the countries in the Black Sea region, with the overall trade volume of 310 billion euro and the second largest trading partner for Central Asia. This is a quote from the recent EU strategic approach for the Black Sea of the European Commission, and it continues underlining that strengthening our cooperation and fostering enhanced economic links will contribute to the competitiveness of the region and of the EU itself. The region has always been an important commercial corridor due to its geostrategic location, but also a crucial energy hub known as its rich natural resources. The energy sector has the highest revenue for most of the region countries. Other important economic sectors are trade, logistics, and information and communication technologies. Blue economy sectors such as shipping and fishery have increasingly positive economic performance. Presently, the Black Sea is facing significant changes as a result of several multi-stressors, both nature and human-driven, that impact the coastal community ecosystems. Collaborative efforts can lead to the creation of policy frameworks that address these interconnected challenges and support the capitalization of the region's potential. Regional actors such as Black Sea Economic Cooperation have promoted collaboration and dialogue through targeted, result-driven initiatives. The Black Sea region is among the most climate-sensitive marine basins in Europe. Scientific observations show a steady increase in sea surface temperature more than 1 degree Celsius in recent decades. This warming alters the circulation, reduces oxygen levels in deep waters, and shifts the balance of marine ecosystems. Sea level rise, estimated at several millimeters per year, threatens coastal infrastructure and low-lying communities. Coastal erosion, floods, and extreme weather events have become more frequent, affecting tourism, agriculture, and fisheries. Climate change is not an isolated phenomenon here. It amplifies existing environmental pressures such as pollution, habitat loss, and overexploitation of resources. I would add also the environmental pollution as a result of the war that impacts the Black Sea basin to remind the disaster with the Novakhovka Dam and with few Russian oil tankers. Main environmental challenges of the Black Sea. The Strategic Action Plan identified several sectoral challenges that remain deeply relevant today. First, pollution from the based sources continues to be most serious pressure on the Black Sea. Over 80% of pollutants enter through rivers, carrying nutrients, pesticides, and industrial waste from a vast hinterland that includes the Danube, Dniester, and Dnieper basins. Agricultural runoff leads to eutrophication, algal blooms, and oxygen depletion. Industrial and urban discharges contribute heavy metals, oil residues, and plastics. Second, the marine litter and plastic pollution have reached alarming levels. The Black Sea, due to its limited water exchange, has one of the highest concentrations of microplastic in the world. The pollution affects marine organisms, enters the food chain, and threatens human health. Third, biodiversity loss and habitat degradation continue to undermine the ecological balance. Iconic species such as Black Sea dolphin, sturgeon, and turbot are in decline. Coastal wetlands and lagoons, our natural filters and climate buffers, are shrinking. Fourth, unsustainable coastal and marine activities add cumulative stress. Port expansion, coastal construction, oil and gas exploration, and shipping increase risks of contamination and habitat fragmentation. Our growing blue economy must therefore be green, clean, and climate resilient. Finally, emerging climate-related risk, including ocean acidification, changes in salinity, and deoxygenation, require integrated scientific monitoring and regional adaptation measures. The strategic action plan is our roadmap for resilience. The Black Sea Strategic Action Plan remains our key political and technical framework for action. It sets out concrete commitments to reduce pollution and improve water quality, restore and protect marine and coastal ecosystems, strengthen monitoring and data exchange through the Black Sea Integrated Monitoring and Assessment Program, integrate climate adaptation and migration into all sectoral policies, promote sustainable use of marine and coastal resources. The ACP is not a static document. It evolves with new scientific evidence and global commitments such as the EU Green Deal, the Marine Strategy Framework Directive, and the EU mission Restore Our Ocean and Waters by 2030, and I hope it will adopt the new EU Ocean Pact. The role of the international and regional partners, none of this progress would be possible without the strong engagement of our international partners. The European Union plays a leading role through programs and instruments supporting environmental protection and sustainable blue growth, from the Common Maritime Agenda for the Black Sea to the EU for Environment, Water Resources, and Environmental Data Initiative, and the Interreg Next Black Sea Basin Program that funds regional projects on pollution reduction, innovation, and coastal resilience. The World Bank, through the Brewing the Black Sea initiative, provides vital financial and technical support to reduce marine pollution and stimulate investment in clean technologies and sustainable business models. The Global Environment Facility, GEF, has been instrumental since the 1990 in backing regional and national projects for implementation of the Bucharest Convention, capacity building, and integrated coastal zone management. Other partners, including UNDP, UNEP, FAO, and Intergovernment Oceanic Commission of UNESCO, have contributed expertise and resources to strengthen science policy interaction, support ecosystem restoration, and promote sustainable fisheries. The broad coalition of actors demonstrates that protecting the Black Sea is a shared global responsibility. On that bridges national boundaries and brings together governments, local authorities, science, the private sector, and civil society. The role of the regional cooperation, the BSEC organization. At the moment, with more than 30 years since establishment, the BSEC is the most representative, inclusive, and mature form of intergovernmental cooperation in the wider Black Sea. BSEC is a first-level confidence-building mechanism that operates primarily top-down, complemented by a bottom-up approach aiming to facilitate regional economic dialogue and cooperation among 30 member states, providing a platform for addressing shared challenges and opportunities, promote sustainable development and economic integration through joint projects and activities in more than 25 areas of cooperation, such as transport, energy, tourism, education, and trade. Support environmental protection initiatives, including efforts to address climate change and preserve coastal and marine habitats. Innovative initiatives like Brewing the Black Sea and Virtual Knowledge Center have been endorsed and supported by the BISIC Permis. In addition, BISIC Permis is partnered to several regional co-funded research projects like Bridge Black Sea, Arsinoe Rescos, coordinate cross-border infrastructure development, improving connectivity and logistics between its member states. A good example is the BISEC permit system. Advanced educational and scientific cooperation, fostering knowledge exchange on environmental, economic, and technological issues relevant to the wider region, foster cooperation and interaction with other international and regional organizations and initiatives such as the EU, the Central European Initiative, the Union of the Mediterranean, to maximize the impact of regional cooperation efforts. Looking ahead, from commitment to concrete action, as we look to the future, we must have from commitment to implementation. Our region needs stronger integration between environment, maritime, and climate policies. We must invest in clean technologies for ports and shipping, wastewater treatment, and circular economic solutions, restoration of wetlands and coastal habitats as nature-based climate solution, early warning systems, and regional data sharing to anticipate environmental risks. We should also involve young researchers, coastal communities, and local authorities in building a culture of environment stewardship. The Black Sea can become a model of regional climate resilience and sustainable development where blue growth and ecological protection go hand in hand. To conclude, addressing the perplex and interconnected challenges of the wider region requires comprehensive plans that combine environmental protection, economic development, and regional cooperation. Continued research and knowledge-based policy are essential for effective strategies that respond to actual needs. Collaborative efforts among the countries of the wider region can strengthen advocacy efforts for international support and funding from international organizations such as the UN, the EU, and other similar donors. By working together, countries can enhance their resilience, promote sustainable practices, and ensure the long-term health of ecosystems, ultimately benefiting both the environmental and local communities that depend on these resources. The changing climate reminds us that time is not in our side, but it also reminds us of what we can achieve when we act together. Let us act now decisively and collectively to ensure that the Black Sea remains a sea of life, prosperity, and hope for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Panayiotou. As you mentioned, partnerships are very important. You gave a very comprehensive keynote speech. Thank you very much. And as an NGO, as a civil society organization, and as a research organization, TUDAV is trying to, assume the role to enhance partnerships and to take an active role in the region. So, 29 years ago, we had a very wonderful celebration announcing the Black Sea Action Day, and Dr. Vladimir Mamev had a very active role during that during the announcement and during the ceremonies of the Black Sea Action Day. So I would like to give the floor to Dr. Vladimir Mamayev, who was the former regional technical advisor for UNDP. I will let him introduce himself and give his presentation. Dr. Mamayev, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very much, Sibel. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Super. Yes. Good morning, everybody. Yes, I just recently retired from the United Nations, but I did not retire from the Black Sea, and I hope to continue our cooperation. So, good morning, dear colleagues, friends of the Black Sea. First of all, a very happy Black Sea Day to all. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
That sunny day 29 years ago in Istanbul on the shores of the Bosphorus Strait that links the Black Sea to the world ocean. The six littoral states of the Black Sea came together in the historical building of Dolmabahce Palace to
Mm.
sign a historical agreement, the Strategic Action Program to save and protect the Black Sea. That day, we witnessed a shared understanding among the governments, an agreement to work together in protecting their common heritage, this unique large marine ecosystem, and to allow to survive despite human intrusion. This strategic action program then became the work program of the newly established Black Sea Commission Secretariat. It had been implemented with some difficulties, yes, but implemented nonetheless, even until today. Today, 20 years after this historical event, the Black Sea is still suffering. The countries are divided by political problems, and these challenges make it difficult to fully address the environmental issues that threaten our shared sea. But learning from the past and looking back to the 90s, when transboundary cooperation was not obvious and when countries were also politically divided, we can see that even then the countries of the Black Sea managed to sit together around the table and agree on joint actions for the environment. That was the greatest success of the Riparian countries, supported by many donors mentioned by the ambassador, including the Global Environmental Facility. 29 years ago, the countries were able to overcome political problems and focus their efforts on protecting and saving the Black Sea. On that day, the 31st of October, was proclaimed Black Sea Action Day, which we are all celebrating together today. Over these 29 years, many international efforts by the Global Environmental Facility, the European Union, and many other donors have supported the countries of the Black Sea. I am sure this support will continue. However, only the countries themselves and their stakeholders can truly ensure the protection and safeguarding of this unique world heritage for future generations to come. I hope and wish that next year, when we celebrate 30 years of the Black Sea Strategic Action Program, we will be able to report to the world community on the progress made and the achievement reached. I look forward for the years ahead for the Black Sea countries to strengthen their cooperation under the leadership of the Black Sea Commission, for the international communities to continue its support for the unique ecosystems, and for all of us, experts, partners, and citizens, to remain part of this journey to protect and restore the Black Sea. Happy Black Sea Day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mamayev. So as you mentioned, it was a memorable day, and next year it's going to be the 30th anniversary. So I do hope we all come together to have large celebrations actively, not online, but of course in the countries, in the regions, at the local level. So we should maybe start planning, soon, today, for next year. So I would like to, before I wrap up, I would like to talk about the methodology for 2 minutes. So we try to bring together contributors, speakers, and participants who actively work in the protection of the Black Sea, in ensuring that it is sustainable, the activities are sustainable. So most of us are experienced in the region. So I would like to request the speakers not to talk too much about project activities and project objectives, but to talk more about the more strategic aspects, the highlights of their projects, their expectations, their challenges, perhaps lessons learned, perhaps ways of cooperating, because most of us cooperate and have been cooperating for years. So, how to strengthen that cooperation, because we've been trying to do this for 30 years minimum, of course. There's, of course, before that at the national levels, but let's try to keep this more strategic, so we try to come up with formulas of enhancing cooperation and increasing effectiveness optimization. So this is my request from you. All the panels will have short discussion sessions. We have very limited amount of time. It's a half-day event, and therefore I would like to ask all the participants to contribute through chat. Okay, so we don't have enough time for open discussions, unfortunately, but please contribute through your chat comments, chat questions. And now I will give the floor to Professor Ülgen Aytan, who is in the board of directors of TÜDAV. So, Professor, the floor is yours for the next session, and please try to finish on time.
Okay, thank you. Good morning,
Thank you
everyone.
so much. Good luck.
It's a great pleasure to welcome you all to this session entitled Regional Projects to Combat Marine Pollution and Preserve the Black Sea. As we celebrated 29 Black Sea Action Day, it's important to recognize how far we have come and how much still remains to be done to ensure a cleaner, healthier, and more resilient Black Sea. This session brings together inspiring regional initiatives that address one of our most pressing challenges, marine pollution. Tackling this issue requires strong regional cooperation, science-based solution, and continuous dialogue, exactly what today's session is about. We will hear from four distinguished speakers, each presenting important initiatives contributing to a sustainable and resilient Black Sea. After these four presentations, as Sibel mentioned, we will open the floor for discussion and exchange of ideas, so please feel free to share your thoughts and questions by chat. I wish all speakers and participants an engaging and fruitful session. Together, through science, cooperation, and shared commitment, we can make a real difference for the future of the Black Sea. So thank you, and let us begin with our first speaker, Mrs. Irina Makarenko from the Permanent Secretary of the Commission on the Protection of the Black Sea Against Pollution, who will present overview of key challenges, pollution, biodiversity, climate impacts. Irina, floor is yours.
Uh, Thank you very much, Ülgen. I hope you can see my presentation in proper mode, not like I see it at the moment. Just a second. Okay. Is it okay now? Can you see
Not
it?
the full screen?
Not the full screen, because I can see it now. Full
Not
screen.
yet. No.
Now?
Not yet.
Oh my God. What shall we do?
Okay, take your time.
But, I pressed F5. It doesn't work. And then I also used another option on the bottom, like a slideshow. Can you see it okay now?
No, but you can continue to use the time effectively if you can.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, dear participants of this high-level event, good morning, and it's extreme honor for me to be here. And thanks to our TÜDAV Foundation and other Turkish hosts for this initiative. It's really excellent chance for us to get together, to have the key relevant stakeholders, and to mark one of our outstanding and important annual events for all the Black Sea community, and also to celebrate the International Black Sea Day. So as it was said, I represent the Black Sea Commission, which is for more than 30 years now playing a major role in addressing issues of conservation of the Black Sea environment. And it was already mentioned today a couple of times that the first strategic action plan on the rehabilitation and protection of the Black Sea was signed exactly today, 29 years ago in Istanbul. Unfortunately, although I know everybody who was present during that day, I was not, because I was still at school, but I can feel how it was back then, and I joined you in Dolmabahce Palace in 2007. So Congratulations to all, and by marking the Black Sea Day is actually our very good tradition. And despite the fact that we should do it now in online format, I also hope that next year we will get together. And I want to wish all the people who are dealing with the preservation of the Black Sea really success and success in all the endeavors. So the organization I represent is serving as a regional sea convention for the Black Sea. And initially when we were created 30 years ago, we have been dealing only with pollution and mostly fighting eutrophication. Eutrophication used to be the key issue for us, also due to the input from Danube, which is flowing into the Black Sea. And, since the year 2000, we collaborate with the Danube Commission, the International Commission on the Protection of the Danube River. But we also have focused later on different issues, which were also challenges for us, such as biodiversity, such as integrated coastal zone management. Now we try to deal with climate change, marine litter, and many other issues, same as other regional seas in the region and in the globe. And despite the fact, it was also mentioned by Vladimir, that we have substantial achievements in this regard, because all these years the Black Sea Commission was active, but still, despite the ongoing efforts of all the Black Sea riparian countries, of all the organizations that are represented here today, we also understand that environmental deterioration is continuing, and we are also being affected to a large extent by different global and regional, political, social, and economic realities. And also having the war in Ukraine is also, such a challenge that we should really overcome very soon. So speaking about the challenges, because my presentation should deal with the challenges of the Black Sea Commission, I wanted to set a scene for other projects, for other colleagues who will tell on concrete actions. So of course, pollution for 30 years already, but still a challenge for us. And as a Black Sea Commission and the Secretariat, we are trying to make our contribution. We have been collecting annual reporting from countries, and this is all done through the different monitoring stations in all the Black Sea riparian countries. And we also established a regional pollution database in Odessa, Ukraine, which is, also a challenge to sustain its activities now. And mostly we are very grateful to the support of different projects like EMBLAS, Anemone, and others, and we will also hear them today. So thanks for inviting them also, and thanks to these projects for helping us to somehow sustain our activities. Also, as I mentioned, since the year 2000, we're also exchanging data with the ICPDR, the Danube Commission, I would call it like this. We have been exchanging data. It took us a long time to elaborate on the proper reporting format, but it's been at least 10 years that we report using the proper reporting templates. And, basically today I'm supposed to provide the new report to the Danube Commission on the parameters that we monitored in Romania and Ukraine. So we are sending it these days. And actually only last year we heard for the first time that the situation with the inputs from the Danube improved to some extent. So that's why, this work is being done. That's why we try to monitor and we try to harmonize our efforts. I wanted to mention here that we, despite the fact that we are blocked to a certain extent, we still, as a secretariat, managed to facilitate our cooperation on source to sea management. We also have very good connections with UNEP Barcelona Convention, and the Black Sea is affected not only from Danube but also now from the Mediterranean. So we have very big, large marine ecosystem plus the river ecosystem. So we managed to put on the agenda 2 years ago the collaboration between the ICPDR, the UNEP Barcelona Convention, and the Black Sea Commission. And I'm very proud to say it's very first example of such a source-to-sea collaboration between the transboundary river basin and the large marine ecosystem. So we also have now support from UNESCO, and really hope for some big project of Jeff or maybe European Commission to come in our region to really finalize all of these activities. It is serving as an example of best practices even on the global arena, and it was endorsed on the UNEP MAPS activities during their COP. And during the upcoming COP in Cairo, Egypt, we are planning to even further deepen this collaboration. But it's not only on political level, we also met on the technical level last year in Istanbul on our first coordination meeting. So we developed a roadmap, and let me quote that in this roadmap we agreed to further exchange information on indicators, assessment methodologies, diffuse sources of pollution, riverine inputs of litter, climate change, drought, floods, impact and prevention, quality assurance and quality control, hotspots, sturgeons, modeling, etc. So you can see this is not the exhaustive list of all our challenges, and you can see that we are sharing basically the common challenges with Danube and Mediterranean Sea, such as pollution, now of course including riverine and marine litter and plastics, also biodiversity and fisheries. I wanted to specifically emphasize on the invasive species, and Professor Bayram Öztürk knows very well and writing his articles about the so-called, if I can manage to spell it, Mediterraneanization of the Black Sea. So this is also an issue for us now. And last but not least, we also suffer from climate changes. So our reports, the recent reports, they are not that recent, but still they are showing that the warming of climate is not only affecting the single ecosystem of the river or of the sea, but also affecting the interaction between them. So I was mentioning already, we have now increased algae blooms. We have also the invasive species introduction in both regions. So that's why, this cooperation is extremely important at the moment. If we speak what was done on the level of the Black Sea Commission in terms of the climate change, you may all guess that 30 years ago, climate change was not on the agenda of, I don't think, of any of the regional seas. So that's why it was also not really reflected properly in any of our documents. So we have an urgent need to put it properly into our next monitoring and assessment program, into the templates of our annual reporting, into the different documents of collaboration with our partners, such as the memorandums of understanding with UNEP MAP, for example, or other partners. And of course, we should continue with our joint activities. We had fantastic joint side event on the climate change convention COP in Dubai with the support of Bulgaria. And later on, just last year, we had a fantastic event organized together with the BSEC, which happened at the COP of UNFCCC convention in Baku. So now we are planning a joint activity for the next COP, and we also invited other regional seas. So despite the difficulties with assessing the climate change on the level of the Black Sea Commission, still within the work of the Integrated Coastal Zone Management Advisory Groups, we were actually collecting reporting since the year 2000, and some colleagues may prove it, and we already collected the data on precipitations, on the sea level rise, on the number of floods and average temperature. And also we kind of reflected the climate change in the guidelines on the Integrated Coastal Zone Management, which were adopted. I think it was the last document that was adopted by consensus by the Black Sea Commission in 2018. We were basically inspired by the Barcelona Convention because they are very much advanced in terms of addressing the ICES attempt. So let's say the climate change was partially reflected in our documents. Our latest State of Environment report, and also most of you know about this report, unfortunately, we have the latest edition covering only 2015 because of the lack of consensus, because of some occupied territories and, different expert issues. So this report is basically analyzing the challenges and threats relevant to climate change already. And it was as as the Ambassador Panayotov mentioned, so there are a couple of reports which dealing with some consequences of the climate change, such as increase in precipitation, such as increasing of the fresh water in the balance of the Black Sea, such as decreasing the oxygen content of the waters of the Black Sea. And again, as I mentioned, the invasion of the Black Sea by Mediterranean originated species, which is basically happening due to the consequence of the climate change. We also had, not us, but BSEC had one project, Klimbis, which some years ago produced a report, and they're also mentioning about the projections regarding the models and scenarios of the climate change for the Black Sea. So they are forecasting that there will be more severe and frequent droughts and heat waves, and also decrease in summer river flows and more intensive rainfall events in the Black Sea. So, that's why the climate change. So as a conclusion regarding the climate change, I can say that we are not properly investigating and not properly coordinating it in the Black Sea region, which is both in terms of the legal aspects and research. So I mentioned here, I hope you can see it, at least part of my presentation. So I emphasized on the activities that should be done in order to introduce it into our agenda. We need to work on the wider network of the in situ sea level rise observation. We need to create a better data sharing platform. We need to work on the climate scenarios. We need to develop the sea level rise impact and adaptation policies. And for all of that, I already mentioned, I think we may need a big GEF or any other donors project covering all these issues, also including the source to sea management, because as I said, pollution is still on our agenda and biodiversity is still an issue for us. So just to finish my intervention, I wanted to say that, as it was also emphasized a couple of times today, that we need to deepen our collaboration with our partners and our projects, and only like this we can tackle the consequences of the climate change and the sea level rise in the Black Sea Basin. So that's why I wanted to thank you once again for bringing us together, and I hope that I set a bit of scene for with the challenges of the Black Sea, and it would be nice to hear the projects that will be talking about the concrete actions, and they are indeed helping us with tackling of all these consequences. So I stop here. I would like to thank you for your attention, and I want to heartily congratulate you on the Black Sea Day, and let's make our Black Sea blue. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Makarenko, for this comprehensive overview and for highlighting how regional cooperation and policy frameworks continue to evolve under the Bucharest Convention. Your insights on integrated approaches to pollution and biodiversity management perfectly set the stage for our session today. Thank you. Now, let's move on to our second presentation entitled EU for MPLUS, European Union for Improving Environmental Monitoring in the Black Sea. It will be delivered by Ms. Marcela Fabianova, Water Program Analyst at the UNDP Istanbul Regional Hub. Ms. Fabianova, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to speak at this forum and to present the activities of the EU4M+ project. And I also would like to say that even Siva said, that, okay, don't focus on the activities that we are doing. So I cannot avoid that. So I will have to say what we are doing because, yeah, it has to go together with some perspectives for the future or something. So I cannot avoid that. Sorry. So let me just start my presentation. I hope that I will manage better than Irina to make the full screen. Okay, let's see what will happen. Do you see my screen, right? Okay, good. So
yes, we can.
Okay, let me.
I'm asking my friend how we can make the full screen.
Okay, so present response setup show. Okay. Okay. Okay. Very good. It doesn't go very well. Okay. I present show slide all. Advanced slides. Okay, that's okay.
May I just interrupt?
Yes, please.
I have your presentation, so if you want, I can just
Oh,
share.
yes, that's great idea. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, this is saving my life.
Okay.
Okay, so I will just stop share.
Thank you, Nail.
Stop sharing. So until you set up the presentation, so let me just say a few introduction. So the project Improving Environmental Monitoring in the Black Sea has been launched in January 2013 as a joint initiative of UNDP, European Union, and the Black Sea countries to support the improvement of the environmental monitoring in the Black Sea and to contribute to the protection of the sea. So this initiative has been implemented in phases, which is actually a very good approach because we were able to react and to respond to the actual needs of the Black Sea countries to respond to the emerging issues of the Black Sea. Next, please. So as I said, in short, the project is addressing limitation in the availability of accurate, reliable, and comparable data on marine environment, and building national capacities, increasing awareness and involvement of the public in the Black Sea environmental issues. So the first phase of the MBLAS was like a preparatory stage, and then a diagnostic analysis has been prepared to see the situation in the Black Sea region. Then the two follow-up phases were designed with several activity areas where the implementation of the joint Black Sea surveys and evaluation of their results was considered as a core of the activities. And this was important for the success of the project. And those surveys were closely connected with the training and capacity building, development of methodologies and policies, as well as with the data management. And specific attention has been also given to the marine litter monitoring, which where the marine litter actually became very emerging issue in the last years. So these three phases were showing that the countries were able to create a solid knowledge and experience how to do the monitoring, but it has been still shown that there is a need to provide some technical upgrade of the national facilities so the countries would be able to perform the analysis with their own resources. Because all the results that, from the surveys, the basic parameters, for instance, were analyzed by the national institutions, but for the more advanced analysis, the samples had to be sent out to the other international laboratories. Next, please. So as I said, the fourth phase of this joint initiative, which we call EU4M+, or environmental or European Union for the improvement of environmental monitoring of the Black Sea, is the fourth phase of the project, and the planned timeline is actually from April 21 to December 25. We have been facing some challenges because of the war in Ukraine, so the project has been put on hold for almost a year, but then it started again, and so we were trying to achieve the planned results. So the budget of the EU contribution was 2 million euros, and the beneficiary countries are Georgia and Ukraine. We work with the relevant national authorities and institutions, research organizations that are involved in the Black Sea monitoring. And as I said, the priority of this phase was to give technical assistance to the countries in form of provision of analytical equipment and supporting and strengthening capacities and knowledge of the national experts working in those institutions and related working on the Black Sea monitoring. And due to the current circumstances, the project also carried out some additional scientific cruises to collect more data on the Black Sea environment. And this, as I said, the project was flexible and able to react on the actual needs of the region. Next, please. So coming to the overall impacts and results, so I have to also mention what was achieved in the previous project phases. Because they greatly contributed to improved availability and sharing of marine environmental data from the implementation of the monitoring programs at the national and regional scales. So the datasets were obtained from national and regional research cruises, the joint Black Sea surveys, which were organized in 2016, 17, and 19. And actually, those were the historically biggest research expeditions in the northern part of the sea. And they consisted of open sea surveys and also several interconnected and harmonized surveys in the Ukrainian shelf, Russian, and Georgian coastal zones. The collected data from the surveys are used for the Black Sea environmental assessment, for the proposal of the monitoring networks at national and regional level, as well as for identification of the Black Sea specific contaminants that should be actually monitored in the future. And this is also to support the countries to comply with the obligation under Bucharest Convention, EU association agreements, and helping the countries in preparation of the MSFD initial assessment reports and the national marine strategies. And here we work closely with the Black Sea Commission Secretariat, and we are happy to contribute to with the data to the various reports that the Secretariat is preparing on the status of the Black Sea environment. So as as an important element of the project was the support of the Black Sea water quality database, where all data from the projects are stored. This database is currently transformed to the Black Sea e-data platform, and it is handled by the Ukrainian Scientific Center of Ecology of the Sea, which is actually in Odessa, and which is actually a regional activity center for pollution monitoring and assessment of the Black Sea Commission. And this database has several modules on biodiversity, contaminants in water, sediments, biota, and currently it has about 440,000 data entries as of January and 2021. And it is covering not only the data that have been collected from the project, but also we worked with other projects and incorporating their data into the database. Next, please. Additional value of the project is actually that we have been using very modern methodologies during the scientific surveys. And as I already said, that national institutions were providing the basic analysis, but for the more advanced, we worked with numerous scientific institutions like Joint Research Center, Norwegian NIVA or General UBA or University of Athens, Masaryk University from Czech Republic, etc. And we use various like new methodologies like passive sampling or environmental DNA for identification of fish and biota in the samples, etc. So this is important to say that we have established very good cooperation with various institutions. That's very important also for the transfer of the knowledge to the countries. So they in the future they will be more like experienced and having knowledge to do things on their own. So as I said, MPLAS was flexible to accommodate various needs of the countries, and we also carried out additional monitoring cruises in this phase. So in autumn 2021, we used the opportunity when the research vessel Belgica has been transferred from Belgium to Ukraine, and we have implemented a scientific program during the cruise and during the transport of the vessel. And this scientific program cruise of 3 European seas was covering the Northeast Atlantic, Mediterranean, and Black Seas. And we have collected seawater and bottom sediment samples at a number of locations, as well as made analysis for chemical pollution and microplastics, as well as documented marine litter available appearance, and environmental DNA samples were analyzed for the biodiversity and microbial DNA to see the presence of antibiotic resistance genes. In 2023, after the destruction of the Nova Kakhovka hydropower, which happened in June 2023, the project carried out an investigative monitoring of for the assessment of the impact of pollution on the Black Sea from the destruction of this hydropower dam. And this has been done in cooperation with the project partner Ukrsek, which also arranged collection of the samples from surface water and sediments, as well as groundwaters. So we prepared a nice study to see what is the impact of the Nova Kakhovka destruction on the Black Sea. The most recent activity that we have is actually now ongoing. It is investigative monitoring of the Black Sea pollution, which is aimed to investigate the ecological consequences of the oil spill at the Kerch Strait, which happened in December 2024, and when 2 Russian tankers sunk in this region. And this is to investigate the impact on the Ukrainian coastal marine ecosystems. So this will combine like hydrodynamic modeling and sampling and analysis for the content of various contaminants. The second aim is to collect additional chemical, biological, and microbiological data for which to follow the Nova Kakhovka dam bridge. So we will have like a second set of the data to see how the pollution is developing and what is actually happening. So the first results from this investigative monitoring we are expecting towards the end of this year, and we plan to have the scientific report in the next quarter. Next, please. On the establishing the modern systems and facilities in the countries and strengthening the national capacities of the experts, we also worked on this in the previous project phases during the preparation and implementation of the scientific cruises. We prepared a set of standard operational procedures for chemistry and biology, and to give detailed guidelines how the samples should be handled, collected, and transported, and later on analyzed. We also organized a set of trainings and workshops, and facilitated laboratory visits or participation of experts at various international seminars. So this was to build the capacities of the people working in the laboratories of the national institutions. And in the context of this technical assistance, we also facilitated the transfer of this, which I already mentioned, of this research vessel Belgica, which is now called Boris Alexandrov. And this was a gift from Belgian government to Ukraine. And now this research vessel is in Odessa, and we are waiting until the war will kind of disappear, hopefully. And so this vessel will be is included in the research fleet of Ukraine, and also can be used for the investigative monitoring cruises in the Black Sea. The last part of this technical support is the purchase of the laboratory analytical equipment. We are purchasing high-tech instruments now at this moment. This is for Ukraine for determination of organic pollution and microplastics and for the sample preparation. So this provision of equipment will be also linked with the training for the people so they know how to operate, and also in the future they will be able to do the very specific analysis. So please next. The project also next slide. Okay, good. So the project also significantly contributed to the increase of the awareness of public and their involvement in the protection of the Black Sea. And we see this as a very important element which we are carrying out from the first phase of the project. The project has launched a tradition of the Black Sea Clean Beach Days, which are usually taking place in September. And this is usually, I mean, the weather is still nice and fine, and it is usually linked with a number of other education campaigns for sentinels and lectures and nature restoration activities, and also the clean beach activities. I mean, this is also very, I mean, we started with that basically, and usually about 3,000 people are participating in Georgia and Ukraine, and usually it is estimated about 5 to 6 tons of waste is annually removed from the coastal areas. We also have this, we are also celebrating the Black Sea Action Day on 31st of October, where we have a various public events and actions for kids and schools. This includes contests, art performances, or exhibitions, and usually at this day this is always like a gala event for activities that are implementing during the year. We are carrying out various campaigns related to the marine litter prevention, monitoring of marine legend and dolphins, summer schools, workshops, and it's a number of activities I could talk about, I don't know, another 15 minutes. We have also a number of specific products, starting with scientific reports, with the education material for school kids, like a pocket guide for marine species, or recent publication, My Friend, the Black Sea. We have a number of documentary movies, infographics, postcards. So from these 10 years, it's a lot what we are doing, and it's great to see that school kids and people are actually very much like enthusiastic and engaged to do things. With the war in Ukraine, and also with the COVID, I mean, the activities on the ground were like a bit. Okay, I am about to finish. Are were limited, but we are doing our best to have still to keep the people engaged and involved. So for the last word which I want to say is what is the follow-up, what we want to do. So we all know that the Black Sea environment has changed, and there was impact from the war, from environmental disasters, and also, as Irina said, the climate change and all the kind of different stuff is coming, and the extent is not known how these changes will do. So we see that there is a continuous need for monitoring of the sea, of the territorial waters, coastal areas, and open seas in line with MSFD and WFD. We need to work with the data. The Black Sea e-data platform is key for the countries, I think. And this data can be used for the modeling and linking chemical pollution with loss of biodiversity and ecosystem services. And also this data could facilitate socioeconomic studies for quantitative assessment of environmental changes and damages. And the last thing which I need to say is that the data that were collected by MBLAS can be considered as a baseline information because they were they were collected before the war, and if the additional data are collected later, we can somehow find out what is actually the impact on the Black Sea, and we can use this for environmental assessment in the future. So thank you very much for your patience and attention. It was a bit challenging for me to say in 10 minutes what we have done for 10 years. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Fabianova, for presenting the impressive outcomes of the EU MBLAS initiative. The progress in harmonizing monitoring methodologies and strengthening regional data exchange is a major step forward for evidence-based management of the Black Sea environment. Thank you. And now we turn to Dr. Luminata Lazar from the National Institute for Marine Research and Development, Constanta, and coordinator of the Anemone Plus project, who will discuss Black Sea ecosystem vulnerability and collaboration for a sustainable blue region. Luminita, floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. You will share the presentation or me?
I think they will share for you, sorry.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay, let me check with my friends. Okay.
Just a moment, because I can't see you can't see it, right?
We cannot see it on the.
Yeah, I know, but I share it. But okay, let's see again.
If you want, I can do it on behalf of you.
I mean, oh no, I think that I did it from another screen. I'll try one more and once more, and if it didn't work, then we'll try again. Is it working now? Now you can see it?
Yes, we can see it, not the full screen.
Oh, yeah, I know.
If you cannot able to do it, our technical assistant will
What
help.
about now?
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Is it the presenter view or the normal view?
It's the full screen. You
Okay,
can continue. Thank you.
Perfect. So my name is Luminita Lazar. I'm the coordinator of Anemone Plus project, and together with my team and Laura Boychenko, the coordinator of Anemone project, we prepared the story of the two sisters projects working for the evaluation the ecosystem, the Black Sea ecosystem vulnerability and collaboration for the sustainable blue region. So the story started back in 2018 when Anemone, the first project, was awarded by the Joint Operational Program Black Sea Basin. At that time, the project was aligned with the program's priority to promote coordination of environmental protection and the joint reduction of marine litter in the Black Sea Basin, with a specific objective to improve joint monitoring, environmental monitoring. The initial duration was 28 months, but due to the COVID, it has an additional 4 months extension. Anemone Consortium brought together diverse expertise to tackle environmental challenges in the Black Sea Basin. The project extended over 4 countries, Bulgaria, Romania, Turkey, and Ukraine, enhancing cross-border collaboration between 4 research organizations, the Institute of Oceanology from Bulgarian Academy of Sciences, us, the Institute of Sea Sciences from Ukraine, and the National Research Organization from Turkey, TÜBİTAK, and 2 NGOs, Mare Nostrum from Romania and TUDA from Turkey. And from the start, Anemone mission was to set a basis for further action. The Anemone project established a solid foundation for a coordinated, science-driven understanding of the Black Sea ecosystem. Through dedicated national field campaigns in the Black Sea, Anemone worked on rivers interaction zones for 7 rivers and hotspots, achieving over 1,000 measurements collected during 6 cruises, summing 125 days at sea. More than 500 chemical analyses were conducted in the hotspots areas, the 5 ports and 4 wastewater treatment plants. And the collaborative effort included the overall assessment of eutrophication and pollution near rivers, mouths, and hotspots, and key pressures as nutrients, contaminants, marine litter. But the most remarkable collaborative efforts of the project was the joint cruise. We had a dedicated team of 70 marine scientists from Bulgaria, Romania, Turkey, and Ukraine on board of the research vessel Mare Negru. During the cruise, between late September and early October, our team covered around 700 nautical miles conducting surveys in offshore and deep sea locations within the national waters of Romania, Bulgaria, and Turkey. We didn't have enough time to get a permission to enter to Ukrainian waters, so we didn't do at that time the Ukrainian waters as well. We gathered an impressive number of samples in that cruise, around 1,500 across 21 stations, capturing data on 120 different parameters, including chemical and biological indicators. But in the report, we also included results from the Ukrainian waters collected during the EMPLS project, which complements our findings and showcases the strength of the cross-border cooperation. And all this extensive collection of data was crucial for assessing the health of the marine environment at that time. So Anemone produced reports which are still available on the project website on overview of monitoring programs, gaps in identification, research needs in the Black Sea region, the Black Sea Monitoring and Assessment Guideline, and the reports regarding the impact of the rivers on the Black Sea ecosystem and the anthropogenic pressures and impacts on the Black Sea coastal ecosystem. After the joint cruise, with all the data collected and that data added from Ukraine waters, we provided the state of the environment of the Black Sea and another report about the hazardous substances assessment in Black Sea biota. They will produce also reports on the citizen science regarding the assessment of citizen population status, of public engagement, and the marine litter status. So Anemone left us with a significant legacy and a sense of responsibility. But also Anemone did the key recommendation. Here you can see only few because they are important for the next project, the Anemone Plus, which inspired his proposal from this recommendation. In this, regarding the scientific and technological issue, the project recommended the application of a range of modern monitoring and assessment approaches, including the aerial and satellite imagery and molecular methods for biodiversity assessment. So next, the report saw the importance of studying how the relationship between pressures and effects in the Black Sea, and there were suggested applications and large applications of tools like eutrophication assessment tool and the need an integrative tool for the biodiversity assessment and the chase for contaminants. But as time passed, both our team and the marine ecosystem experienced significant changes. We uncovered new techniques through European projects, while climate change continued to advance and various pressures shifted or evolved. Then the most unfortunate event occurred, the war in Ukraine. So in 2001, starting with a new EU financial framework, the joint operational program Black Sea Basin was replaced by the Interreg Next Black Sea Basin program. In 2024, Anemone Plus was an idea. So we did a project proposal expanding upon the successful foundation of the Anemone project and considering also the Anemone legacies. We added also the plus for this proposal, the collaboration with business, governance, and citizens for the sustainable blue region. So at that time, the idea aimed to unite efforts drawing from scientific research and practical applications to create the meaningful impact. In 2025, Anemone Plus project took the next steps, was granted, and wants to transform the results from Anemone and other projects into practical tools for science decision makers, businesses, and communities as a critical translation from science to real world. So Anemone Plus continues Anemone legacy with a new program priority, the Blue and Smart region, addressing the specific objective of developing and enhancing research and innovation capacities and the uptake of advanced technologies. So in the field of Action 1, the project is focusing on the use of innovative technological developments. So while Anemone strengthened the monitoring cooperation across borders and did a great job in this respect, Anemone Plus elevates this mission by introducing the innovative tools, the digital platforms to support a smart and data-driven blue economy in the Black Sea region. This involves improving existing tools, platforms, and databases developed under previous projects, mainly Black Sea Basin, but also other projects will consider with the help of advanced technologies and developing new ones. But the power of this project is coming from the opportunity to acquire new equipment to the project. This is a rare and valuable prospect that can significantly enhance an organization capabilities and also the national and regional capabilities. Such opportunities typically arise when a project called prioritize innovation, research or development, recognizing the importance of the state-of-the-art tools in achieving the results. So having access to new equipment can drive efficiency, improve accuracy, and open new ways for exploration and experimentation that previously we cannot do it. So this not only strengthens the project outcomes, but also provides team members with a chance to develop new skills and expertise. So I put here also a few equipment that all the partners will achieve during the project lifetime and use for providing the new information. The key objectives of Anemone Plus project, which started in mid-September this year, is just a baby now. It's to enhance the resilience and sustainability of the Black Sea ecosystem, which is crucial for maintaining its biodiversity and the livelihoods that depend on it. So we will implement advanced monitoring systems designed to improve data accuracy and add new data. And another critical objective is to expand the project's scope by addressing transboundary marine challenges to advance the collaboration. On the technology front, Anemone Plus will leverage innovative technologies such as remote sensing, AI-driven analytics, eDNA, drones, underwater and aerial drones, and WebGIS platform. These tools will enable us to enhance surveillance of marine health and visualize the environmental changes, particularly in this time when we cannot, even us in Romanian waters, we are now not allowed to have cruises in the northern area, the border with Ukraine, due to the war. Anemone Plus has 6 outputs. So Anemone Plus will establish a structured framework around the consortium of the 6 partners to promote which is the partnership of Anemone Plus is exactly the same like Anemone. So this collaboration framework aimed to enhance the integration and cross-border application of research findings and strengthening the regional cooperation. Anemone Plus will develop a stakeholder database which wants to be more than a list of contacts, but to categorize the key actors, to georeference, to have the georeference data, to put them on the WebGIS and to be used in all the Black Sea region to support the engagement and collaboration. So they will be integrated in the WebGIS platform and used by partner institutions and other institutions' interests. Anemone Plus the core of the project is to create a strategic toolbox to integrate the former results from Anemone and from other projects, but also to add the new results gathered with the new equipment and all the results will be validated to pilot actions and made them available in the WebGIS platform. It will be presented also in a dedicated Black Sea Commission workshop to be, and hopefully it will be adopted somehow at the regional level, but at least from the scientists to work on this. And we'll add all the information that are available for in this platform. Anemone Plus will carry out two joint research initiatives into the project involving four Black Sea research organizations as integral components of the strategic toolbox. The first initiative is from us with the Institute of Oceanology from Bulgaria, focusing on developing the EcoPath with EcoSim model based on shared data and scenario analysis for evaluating the web food and the biodiversity. And the second one will engage all for research institutions in conducting the cumulative impacts assessment to evaluate the combined human pressures in our areas. And finally, in 2028, when Anemone will end, the Anemone Plus will host a public open day alongside with the project final meeting to extensively promote and to reach audiences across the project by showcasing the project key achievement and demonstrating practical solutions developed to address the major environmental challenges of the Black Sea. So the expected impact of Anemone Plus is to tackle common territorial challenges, such as severe environmental pressures, but also disparities in research and innovation between us in the region. It's being a critical need for enhanced regional cooperation in this wartime when our Regional Sea Convention has a lot of challenges to work. We need tools and collaboration to go forward. So we'll offer the strategic toolbox as a key component to integrate in advanced tools and assessments, and we are open to populate it with all the needs in order to make it operational. And also by transnational cooperation progress, we want to improve the environmental monitoring and management in our area, aligning perfectly with the blue and smart region priority of the program, where the anemone is included, and positioning us for a more sustainable future. So in summary, the impact is not just about addressing immediate issues, but also setting the foundation for long-term sustainability. So we foresee a reimagined strategy for tackling the marine environmental challenges in the Black Sea region, characterized by the enhanced stakeholder engagement and collaboration, and empowering decision-making bodies with informed and scientific data. And also the integration of all advanced technology that we can use in the project lifetime, and sustainable practices for a more competitive, innovative, and eco-friendly economic landscape. Well, this is Anemone Plus started, of course, with a kickoff meeting, and we were happy to see all our former partners to Anemone. Of course, we met them in between the project in different other collaborations, and it was from Anemone to Anemone Plus. We want to move forward together, combining science, innovation, and commitment for a healthier and smarter Black Sea region. So we can reach us via our information contacts that you can find in the site, and we are open to collaborate with all of you and anyone who wants to participate in this initiative. Thank you very much for inviting us today, and for having and happy birthday, let's say to our Black Sea today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lazar, for this insightful presentation. Your work under the Anemone Plus project beautifully illustrates how scientific collaboration across the Black Sea can improve our understanding of ecosystem vulnerability and support regional adaptation strategies. So we are running a bit of time, so I would like to give floor to Dr. Paul Grip, Director of Naturbrew, who will present the role of marine protected areas in conserving the Black Sea. a case study of Bulgaria's Marine Natura 2000 network. Dr. Group, the floor is yours. Your microphone is off. Could you please put it on?
There we are. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Nice to see so many old colleagues as well, and refresh spending time with you. I'm going to talk about this story about protected areas just very briefly in 10 minutes. It's quite, but shall I share my screen, or you're going to do it for me? Quite happy to do
You
it
can
myself.
first try.
Mm-hmm. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, we see.
Oh, good. All right. So, well, I'm Paul Goriap. I'm director of Nature Bureau, which is a small ecological consulting company based in Britain. However, I've been working in the Black Sea region for the better part of 30 years, one way or another. And I'm a protected area manager by training. So I have been working quite a lot on protected areas and the Natura development of Natura 2000 networks in various countries, including Romania and Bulgaria on the Black Sea coast. This all starts really with the 2002 protocol on the Black Sea biodiversity and landscape conservation. I was actually in the permanent secretariat at the time helping to draft this document. Its main purpose was to maintain the Black Sea ecosystem in a good ecological state and its landscape in favourable conditions, and to protect, preserve, and sustainably manage biological and landscape diversity of the Black Sea. Took 9 years to come into force, which is a fairly slow rate, but not outrageously slow for governments to ratify protocols. And now that it's in force, hopefully it will drive forward a better rate of protected area designations in the Black Sea. The protocol was also then supported by the draft strategic action plan, which came out the following year in October 2003. And this had a timetable for actions. And it suggested, and I don't know whether this has been adopted, that the coastal and inland areas covered by the protocol would be known as the Black Sea Ecological Corridor, and the whole protected area system with various designations would then become the Black Sea Ecological Network. And this would be then integrated into the existing pan-European ecological network, which is largely now Natura 2000 in EU member states and the Emerald Network in non-EU member states. Jumping forward 20 years, we now have Target 3 of the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. In Target 3, we have to conserve 30% of land, waters, and seas. We all know this is the 30 by 30 target. And the Permanent Secretariat in its current operational program is dealing with this through the description of ecologically and biologically significant marine areas. It's still working on habitats classification and mapping, which I'm not sure to what extent that still is being developed, because that was already started a long time ago. For example, we've already issued a red data book of marine habitats in the Black Sea. So I'd be interested to know eventually how that's going. And it has to facilitate the designation of marine protected areas and EBSA sites, and also updating the regional MPA guidelines. And an update of the Red Data book is due to come out this year. So just looking at the network as it is at the moment from data in the World Data base of protected areas, we can see that in terms of the 30 by 30 target, Ukraine, Romania, and Bulgaria are fairly well covered and very close, if not exceeding that target. Whereas in the south, in Turkey, and to some extent in Georgia, and also definitely in Russia, there needs to be a fair amount of work to be done. However, the protected area network doesn't necessarily mean that we're doing a good job of conserving biodiversity in the Black Sea, because we all realize that some of these designations don't necessarily have strict protection. Particularly in Natura 2000 sites, it is possible to carry out certain economic activities as long as the feature for which the site was designated is maintained in a good conservation status. Just talking about Turkey, Bayram and others, we produced a book under the Coconut Project on marine protected areas. He suggested that there might be 5 areas important for marine protected areas along the Black Sea coast of Turkey. And indeed, there's quite a few other ones here from the important bird areas inventory of BirdLife International, which could also be taken into account. And that adopting those important bird areas and the recommendations that scientists like Bayram have made would fairly quickly bring Turkey up to speed on its protected area system. So as I was referring to before, actually the legal aspects in terms of marine protected areas is quite complex. Many countries have their own systems for national designations. The European Union, of course, has its system of Natura 2000 under Birds and Habitats Directive, and a slight differences of interpretation of those two directives relating to special protection areas for birds or special areas of conservation for non-avian species and habitats. It's all a bit compounded by the fact that there's not actually a legally binding definition of a marine protected area, let alone a marine protected area network in international legislation. You won't find anything in the CBD, the Convention on Biological Diversity, which gives a clear definition. It just talks about areas which have some form of protection, and in a way, the 30 by 30 targets even softens that more by including other areas of effective conservation, OECMs. So IUCN has tried to define that, but it is very difficult. The Marine Strategy Framework Directive, as you know, is looking to improve the ecological status of European seas. And in relation to protected areas, it just mentions spatial protection measures, which contribute to a coherent and representative network of marine protected areas, adequately covering the diversity of constituent ecosystems, and marine protected areas as agreed by the community or member states in the framework of international or regional agreements to which they are parties. I mean, in this case, Bucharest Convention, or if you're in the Mediterranean, the Barcelona and OSPAR for the northern northeast Atlantic. So it's very difficult to actually create the sort of coherent network if we don't have a clear legal framework for it, with common definitions, common ideas about what we should be doing in terms of connectivity, what we should be doing in spatial area that has to be conserved, how we actually look after the species within these different areas. And hopefully, at least in the Black Sea, we could perhaps do a bit more in the guidelines to ensure that the different range states are on the same page in relation to the protected areas. Between 2008 and 2013, we, Nature Bureau and others in a consortium were involved to help the Ministry of Environment and Waters complete their Natura 2000 system in Bulgaria. That actually comprises about 17 sites that have been designated with eight habitat types, 2 species of fish, 2 species of marine mammals. They asked for all of this to be resurveyed using standard methodologies and then to suggest improvements in the system, which would allow them to say that they've adequately conserved these habitats and species. So we designed a survey system, aerial surveys and vessel-based surveys for cetaceans, following, as you might expect, sort of various flight lines and transects, looking for these porpoises and dolphins at all seasons of the year. We carried out the fieldwork for about 18 months. For the fish, we had a trawling and gillnet surveys, random plot places to go and do trawling, transects for the gillnet surveys. This was for a Alosa species, which don't really turn up a lot in these kinds of surveys. There was very little known about them before, and honestly, there's not much more known about them now, although it appears that there's a sort of movement between more inshore waters in the winter and they're more offshore in the summer. And a lot of surveys of different sites, ranging from caves, there's an extensive system of sea caves along the coast of Bulgaria on those rocky cliffs, to soft sediments, estuaries, and deeper waters. And all of these waters were sampled for their chemical properties, biological properties. A vast amount of data was collected. So in terms of the results, I'll present it here as a SWOT analysis. The strengths of all of this was that now the ministry in Bulgaria probably has one of the best data sets for its Natura 2000 sites in the Black Sea. Just huge amounts of data were collected over this period of time. This has allowed them to ensure that their Natura 2000 site boundaries are correct. There were a few small amendments made. We were able to establish what Alosa species were doing and important areas where cetaceans were gathering at different times of the year. On the other hand, there were some weaknesses. You don't often get to see a lot of cetaceans, especially for photo identification. So some more granular data on actual individual movements has still not been obtained. Trawling and gillnet surveys in the Black Sea. I mean, by the time we actually started that, there was already some war conditions starting. And so the Navy was nervous about our ships and vessels going into certain areas of the Black Sea. So we couldn't survey those. We also had similar problems with trying to sample and map in the deeper waters. Again, there were some military reasons for that. As a result, some of the methods like diving transects and seabed mapping, while they were done, their geolocation isn't necessarily very precise, and it might not be possible to replicate them in the future to get better trend analyses. There was a lot of discussion about habitat classifications, especially down at the lower UNIS levels. And the issue there being is that if you keep splitting habitats into smaller and smaller classification units, and then you report it on the standard data forms, you then have to monitor for it. And that could produce quite a burden on the government in terms of the costs. So eventually we got to compromises to find a reasonable balance between subclassifications and monitoring effort. And yes, in the time we weren't able to collect a lot of information on pressures and threats, especially over longer term periods. But that is part of the future monitoring system now. A lot of opportunities has come out of it in terms of setting up a more refined integrated monitoring system for birds, habitats, and contributing, harmonizing that information with the water and marine strategy framework directives. More baseline data was collected for all the marine habitats and species mentioned in the Habitats Directive, and they have a very good baseline for collecting further data in order to have better information about the trends of populations and habitat condition. In terms of threats, well, there is a tendency to overinterpret the data, good as it is, compared with what was available before we did this project. There was still a tendency in some places to get more out of it than possibly the data justified. One example of that was some people expanding the GIS maps away from their base scale, so that rather gave an impression of more accuracy than was justified. We've got some estimates will be biased simply because of the sampling methods we had. They were rather limited in time and space, and they can't necessarily be used as threshold values for future assessments. And another thing which afflicts all monitoring programs, there's the risk of losing samples. There are cabinets full of preserved water samples, for example. I mean, will they always persist? That manuals and field data over time may also get dispersed or lost, which would obviously be a pity. And finally, turning to the economics of protected areas, which I think is sustainable development and use of them, which is the theme of this seminar. In the COCONET project, we did quite a lot of work on that. We identified the main sectoral impacts on MPAs, fisheries, agriculture, tourism, navigation, mineral and energy resources. I don't think anything has changed about that since that work was done. And then we have the more diffuse problems from land-based pollution and climate change, which we see as becoming an ever more increasing threat. In sustainable use, many people think that this is just a matter of regulation, better controls, and ending up with really quite repressive management regimes in some places. However, a better approach may be to adopt more market-based incentives. So we were looking at different things that you could do which would give people a vested interest in terms of using these sites sustainably, but at the same time maintaining their livelihoods. So it's a question of looking at property rights, use rights, for example, licensing for fishing and quotas, allowing some of these property rights to be tradable, because that's a way of monetizing the value of natural resources, putting in place various tax regimes and subsidies, charge systems and concessions, charging fees to get into some places, charges for using a site, financial instruments. That we're seeing a lot of development now in the idea of biodiversity credits. So restoring sites can generate biodiversity credits, and there's a bigger and bigger market in these credits, and financializing them so that they can be traded on what are called impact markets. And that's an interesting new development that's already in the UK, and now the EU is also considering something similar for example, in providing grants for biodiversity offsets. Well, bonds and deposit refund systems. This is about basically some sort of insurance scheme against pollution incidents. And then liability systems. This is much more related to the regulation that's more familiar to us as site managers. So on that note, I finished, and thank you very much for inviting me to give you a talk.
Thank you, Dr. Grab, for sharing this valuable case study from Bulgaria. The experience with the marine protected areas under the Natura 2000 framework provides excellent lesson for biodiversity conservation and for expanding transboundary protection efforts in the Black Sea region. So I would like to thank to all our speakers for these insightful and inspiring presentations. We've heard about major regional efforts from monitoring and policy coordination to conservation and technology, all contributing to the protecting of our shared Black Sea. It's clear that while challenges remain, our shared commitment and regional collaboration continue to grow stronger. Unfortunately, we've gone slightly over time, so we won't be able to have our discussion at this point. We'll proceed directly to the next session, but you are very welcome to raise your questions during the final discussion session later today. Thank you once again to all speakers and participants, and congratulations to everyone contributing to this important regional effort. Let's continue building on these connections, turning science into action and partnerships into tangible progress for a clean, healthy, and resilient Black Sea. So, Sibel, the floor is yours.
Yes, hello. Okay, so thank you very much, Professor Ulyan. Yeah, so just in case, Paul, you didn't see the comments, there's some comments to your presentation. We can discuss it after this panel. Again, this is a very intense, very full panel. We have 6 presentations, which is quite a lot. We have a short break in between. I will try to stick I will try to stick to the program, the timetables. We would prefer everyone to speak about 10 minutes because then, by the time you open I'd like some time for discussion actually. So if possible, let's keep the presentations short so we have some time for sharing at the end. I would like to invite again Ms. Fabianova to give her presentation on Black Sea Large Mammal Ecosystem, which again is funded by the GEF UNDP program. The floor is yours, Ms. Fabianova, for your presentation.
Thank you very much. I would like to
Thank you.
ask. Thank you very much. I would like to ask if you could run this presentation for me.
Yes, I think Mr. Knight can do that.
Yeah.
Yes, please do that. I don't want to risk
That's
again.
okay. Yeah, we downloaded all the presentations. No
Yes,
problem.
yes, I send it to you. Okay, good. So you can go straight to the second slide, please. So thank you very much. I would like to link actually to the presentation of Paul. So basically, it seems that this project is coming in the right moment to the Black Sea region, as it is aimed to fill in the gaps and remove overlaps in the conservation of the biodiversity and sustainable management of living resources of the Black Sea. And this project is going to support specifically Georgia, Turkey, and Ukraine, and will assist these national governments and also the other regional players like Black Sea Commission, for instance, to revise and strengthen their commitments in the field of biodiversity protection. So this project is funded by the Global Environment Facility. It has a budget of 3 million. It is planned to be implemented over 48 months, and the role of UNDP is the implementing agency of the GF, but the execution of the project will be done by UNESCO. And as mentioned, the beneficiaries are Georgia, Turkey, and Ukraine. It is planned that as a result of the project implementation, there will be three national strategies and regional assessment in the field of marine protected areas prepared. The project will also try to create a network of the marine protected areas and also form a transboundary marine protected area between the Black Sea countries. And some specific activities will be concentrated around to address invasive species, habitat mapping, and elaboration of the biodiversity indicators. And this all will contribute to the update of the Black Sea Strategic Action Plan. Next, please. So the project is actually designed with five components. Four of them are substantive. The fifth component is related to the monitoring and evaluation. And from this components, we expect to have that the threats to the coastal marine ecosystem and services will be reduced, and status of the ecosystems will be improved. Also, the countries are expected to have a better political and legal commitments and tools to implement the obligations under Bucharest Convention. And also, we hope to have a good collaboration with the other initiatives, and also to strengthen the impact from the GF and other initiatives on the project activities. Next, please. So if I go just quickly component by component. So the first one will strengthen the national understanding of current marine protected areas, guiding for the future priority actions. And it should also develop some complementary national strategies related to the blue economy. So the activities that are foreseen will be like a mapping of marine protected areas, habitats, definition of methodologies for assessment of ecosystems and reference conditions, and also design of blue economy strategies, identify gaps in relevant policies, define best practices, and support the national databases that will complement to the Black Sea information system. So here I need to say about the blue economy strategies, just one point that it might have an impact on the ecosystems if these blue economy strategies are not designed properly. So it is very important that this ecosystem-based approach is considered when these strategies are designed, and that the countries make an agreement what is actually the best for the Black Sea. Next, please. So the next component will build actually on the regional cooperative projects and programs that have been in the region over the last 30 years. And it will update the regional understanding of pressures and impacts that are in the Black Sea, and this will be done through the update of the transboundary diagnostic analysis and the strategic action plan. And it is foreseen that there will be prepared various regional protocols, plans, and guidance documents to have a harmonized approach to the marine coastal and protection areas. And as Irina said, that we hope that these various guidelines will be implemented and prepared and also approved by the countries. Next, please. The third component will actually facilitate sharing and exploitation of information which are already available under various initiatives, and also under current other three GF projects that are ongoing. And it will increase the ability of the countries and Black Sea Commission to sustainably use the ecosystem resources in the region. And the activities that are related is supporting the various coordination mechanisms in the region, and knowledge management and communication outreach. And it is important that the knowledge which is already gathered in the region will be shared among the countries. Next, please. The last substantive component that we have in the project is related to the knowledge management and communication and outreach. There will be a close cooperation with the Ivy Learn network. The Ivy Learn is actually the GF platform for International Waters Project that is uniting a number of international waters and large marine ecosystems projects in the global scale, and knowledge that other projects are actually gathering will be shared also with the Black Sea. And yeah, basically this will be the Black Sea project will have an opportunity to get the best knowledge from the global level, and also the project will develop various experience notes and to be able to share with the others. Next, please. So what is next? As I mentioned, the project is not yet operational, but we are now looking at the finalization of the internal administrative steps to have the project in place. So we think that this is a question of only a few days that the project will be officially starting. So with the inception phase, there will be initiation of a consultation process with relevant stakeholders, and we are expecting to receive additional technical comments to the project, and those comments will be considered and presented during the inception workshop. So this consultation process is mainly due to the fact that the project is starting with a bit of delay. So there was a bit longer discussion on the implementation arrangements, and also the project preparation phase was also interrupted due to the war. So the overall the concept and design of the project still need to be like cross-checked and also technical, but only from the technical point of view. So there will be some updates on the related to the actual situation, etc. So this will be actually done through this consultation process. The next will be during the inception phase, the project coordination unit will be established. We are hoping that the Black Sea Commission Secretariat will be able to host the PCU. And if everything goes fine, the inception workshop is foreseen in the first quarter of 2026 in Istanbul, and the steering committee will be organized back to back with the inception workshop. So this is all from my side on this project. I didn't want to go very much into details as there might be still some adjustments on the activities, but I hope that this information is sufficient for just to have an overview what this project will be about. Thank you very much.
Well, Miss Fabianova, I mean, it's overwhelming. It's such a huge and incredibly ambitious project.
Yes,
So
I agree.
it's very impressive. So I congratulate you and your team for all the work you've done in it. Um, I think we will all have some questions towards the end. But congratulations, my sincere congratulations. And we look forward to the next steps. So now I would like to introduce Ms. Pınar Uygurer, who will talk about the safe operating space in the Black Sea within the Bridge Black Sea project. Ms. Uygurer, the floor is yours.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Thank you, Sibel Hanım. Nice to see you again, and
Nice to
nice
see
to see
you.
some other familiar faces. Well, congratulations on the event and on this important day to all of us. I am Pinar. I am the project manager of the Bridge PS project, and I work at the Middle East Technical University's Institute of Marine Science. That is the coordinator of the Bridge PS project. Well, in the honor of the celebration that we are having today, I wanted to start with the brief overview of how we came here today, already discussed. But the efforts in the Black Sea, as we also heard today, intensified in the recent years. And from the Bridge PS project side, the efforts have already started in 2017 where we had the Blue Growth Initiative, which developed the Black Sea Strategic Research and Innovation Agenda. Um, and throughout these last years, through Black Sea Connect project, its implementation plan has been drafted for for implementing different actions, and then Bridge PS and Doors projects, which are sister projects, are funded to actually realize the healthier and resilient Black Sea, as Ülgen Hanım was also mentioning earlier today, and also with the support of course, many different policies and activities. Bridge PS project and Doors project are now coming to an end, but I think they are leaving an important legacy, which I would like to talk more now. But just to briefly remind everyone that the Syria and its implementation plan have been an important strategic document in the region and endorsed at the very high level already 2 years ago. And many of the actions that we are discussing today are actually addressing the implementation plan. And the Bridge PS project, as I said, was funded already 4.5 years ago with a very big and ambition consortium partners, with many partners involved from the Black Sea as well as the European counterparts. With the goal of advancing knowledge and advancing blue economy in the Black Sea. So we have three nodes under the project, as you can see here. But the center of the project concept is finding a safe operating space in the Black Sea in which sustainable blue economy activities can further flourish. As we always discuss, the Black Sea is under many stressors, which leads the potential of blue economy going a bit untapped. This is just to say that under these nodes, we have operationalized this nodes in different work packages, all ambitious work packages contributing to major project outputs that you are actually seeing some of them now. So what Bridge project has achieved, and you will hear more about it later today. So I will only cover some of the aspects, such as the innovation under the Black Sea, Bridge Black Sea. The Black Sea Accelerator has launched together with the Doors project and bringing different blue economy SMEs in the region. And also we organized 2 editions of a high-tech summit, bringing academia, innovation, and public and private investment together. And we had the living labs and the policy events, as well as many capacity building and citizen science activities that our TÜDAO, our host today, have been organizing. I saw some of the young people that were involved in our project. As the Black Sea Connect legacy, Bridge PS has continued the Black Sea Young Ambassador program in the region, which has been a flagship initiative that will hopefully continue, as well as the Lighthouse and Black Sea books, which are very interesting, that I think you will hear from Ayaka. But all these activities in relation to safe operating space, they all contributed to the co-designing of what we call as the digital twin oceans, which are critical for the identification of a safe operating space. I will come to that, but just to mention, from the innovation side or from smart technologies side, the project has accomplished very many firsts in the region by using different technologies and collecting significant amount of data and testing new technologies in the Black Sea. And from the knowledge side, we had the database that collects all the data that I was referring to, and also from the socioeconomic side, having a blue economy observatory for the Black Sea specifically, which is also a first. And all these data, all these stakeholder input, they provided input to different modeling frameworks, such as ensemble modeling frameworks, resilience assessment, risk-based cumulative assessment. All the three were actually also done in the Black Sea for the first time, an AI-based emulator, which we then collected into a digital twin ocean demonstrator for the Black Sea. Before I come to that, what is a digital twin of the ocean? As you know, there are digital twin of cities and car or planes, but now in the recent years, the EU has developed an infrastructure called EDITO for developing the digital twin of our seas and oceans. So what it really is, it's of course a little bit complex, but in the very essential, it tries to put together data with some AI analytics, and the idea and the ultimate goal really is to provide input and help decision makers to make their decisions for the futures by showing them different options, what as we call what if scenarios. So just to help them how their different decision will affect the sea in the long term. From the Bridge PS side, as I mentioned, the data, the model outputs, and the sectoral and the Living Lab inputs all provided into these advanced modeling frameworks, which is helping us to identify the safe operating space and the boundaries of the Black Sea by testing different ecosystem resilience and also testing different scenarios. So I will now I will show a little bit of what we are mentioning now. I'm sure Özgün is dropping the chat because this is fully available now, and we have different modules, the ones that I have shown you. But in this small video, this is just the two of the modules that I believe is maybe more relevant to today's discussions. So here you can see the results of the different SSB scenarios and different physical variables and biogeochemistry on how the Black Sea could look like in different scenarios. So you all have access to that, and we are still improving and integrating more and more input to this. I'll just fast forward a little bit. We also have a plastic and fish biomass module that you can choose different species, and you can see their biomass in the different areas of the Black Sea, and same goes for the plastics as well. So, as I said, that's fully available, and we are, as Metu, we are committed to continue this platform further. But why this is important? We believe that this is by many activities I mentioned, and I'm trying to speed up here a little bit, that it's co-designed with the stakeholders from the Black Sea Connect, from the Bridge PS project. We have been engaging with stakeholders, and we know what they need to make decisions. We know what they need to advance their operations without harming the sea. So this puts together a system for them to use by addressing ecosystem services and also with good implications on the MSP and MSFD policies. And yeah, the current plan right now is to integrate that into EDITO, the European infrastructure that I mentioned, because that's the overarching digital twin for the European seas, and to make sure that all these project outputs also have a long-term legacy, both at the region and at the European Sea. So that will be all from my side. Thank you all, and you have all the links in the chat, and we are available for any questions or comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. This is also very impressive. So much work is being done in the Black Sea. I think it's best if I give the floor to Miss Ayaka Öztürk now. She will talk about the Black Sea Cookbook, which was within the Bridge Project. So it's a component within the Bridge Project. So, Ayaka, yes, we're listening.
Thank you, Sibel, and thank you also, Punal, for presenting Bridge. And now I want to
Just
talk.
one short thing. You don't have to do it in 5 minutes. You can do it in 10. We have time, so don't rush.
Well, now, but
5 minutes is too short. Okay.
Yeah, but it's just before 12 o'clock, and it's not a very good time to talk about food. But anyways,
Oh,
so
yeah.
you see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so I want to talk about introduce the Black Sea Cookbook, which was prepared under the Bridge BS project. And as everybody talked about this, there have been ecological and environmental crises in the Black Sea, and which kind of triggered or accelerated the decline in fish stocks due to overfishing, IUU fishing, habitat destruction, natural disease, and even wars. I'm saying wars, so it's not just the Ukrainian-Russian war. There are some other conflicts also. And introduction and invasion of alien species such as Rapana or Mnemiopsis, as everybody knows quite well. So there's a need for responsible consumption. We can't just rely on scientists or policymakers. Citizens have to do something. And in that scope, Black Sea Cookbook was prepared under the Bridge BS project and as a tool for responsible consumption campaign. And its aim is that the citizens will be introduced to marine gastronomy using regional seafood recipes to become familiar with Black Sea's gastronomy, one thing, marine biodiversity, second thing, and fishing regulation, third thing. So these are like the main structures of the book. And eventually, this kind of ocean literacy activity will help citizens to make better informed choices when they buy fish or when they eat fish at restaurants regarding their seafood consumption. So, we had collected 85 recipes from 5 Black Sea countries: Bulgaria, Georgia, Turkey, Romania, and Ukraine. I want to thank all the contributors. Okay, so the first most important part, I guess, is recipes. So I just took some of the pages out from the book, and I give you a QR code for the flip book online. So you can just go through all the recipes when you have time. So it starts with anchovies and then your favorite bonitos but we even have recipes for invasive species, which is rapana, not Mnemopsis, but rapana, and it has been consumed in many parts of the Black Sea coastal cities. So this is the main part, and which were all contributed by local partners within the Bridge BS project. But we also emphasize the biodiversity of the Black Sea, marine biodiversity of the Black Sea, but also some freshwater species. So we did the project called Black Sea Watch a couple of years ago. And we got a lot of information from the list of the species developed within Black Sea Watch. And here you see information or description of the marine biodiversity in the Black Sea. Most of them are commercial species, but we also included some species under protection, such as sturgeons and dolphins and stuff like that. So you can see both sides of the marine biodiversity, the ones we are consuming and the ones which are really under protection and we shouldn't eat. And in the end of the book, we have a section for fishing seasons and regulations, which show you something like this. I mean, each country has its own table. This is from Bulgaria. This is from Turkey, and I want to enlarge it a little bit to show you how it looks like. So it shows you the species, the name of the local name, and the minimum size for catch. So if you see some fish sold under this side, that's not legal. And also we put the table for showing the months, having, okay, these are our legal fishing seasons, but also the ones with the cross, it means that it's the best season to eat this fish. It's a real seasonal delicacy. In Japanese, we call it shun, but I don't know in other language we have the same thing. So instead of eating some frozen fish, you can choose the best taste fish in that season, and then following this restriction, following the fishing regulation, you can choose the best sustainable fish in your own fish market or restaurant. So thank you very much for your attention, and please help us disseminate this book. We are actually making the second edition of the book right now, but you can go and look at this first edition at this QR code. And if you have any comments, please send us your comments. And then I also have a Lighthouse book on the right-hand side. We are now preparing this book for Lighthouse as well. So, but we don't need the lighthouses, okay? We just look at them. But either both of them for citizens to be aware of the Black Sea and the culture and biodiversity of the Black Sea. So let's try to protect the Black Sea together. I wouldn't say Happy Black Sea Day like Vladimir did, but I would rather say we should try to make our Black Seas turning into blue. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ayaka. I mean, to be honest, I think one of the main outputs of meetings such as this is to share these outputs, these documents. So I think it's invaluable that, everyone in this group, all the large projects that everyone is involved with, can distribute the outputs of these, like the cookbook. It's a very concrete project. It involves everyone, every citizen, I'm sure would be interested to find out about it. But I think we have to make sure we have increased access to these products that we're all producing in these projects. Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, so there are some comments here, but no questions. So actually now it's the time to take a 10-minute break for those who need to get some coffee or to relax. But for those who of us, I mean, I'm here, so if we would like to have a discussion, just to chat, I mean, we can have an open discussion now for 10 minutes for those who don't need a break. Yeah, and let's try and make sure we come back on time in 10 minutes, okay? So we're going to start the presentations at 12 in 10 minutes. And like I said, I'm here for open discussion. So Ayaka, I will ask you a question. Did you try all of the recipes in this book?
No.
Ah, see, you have to try all of them.
No,
Each thing.
there are some that I actually made and took photos. So you may notice with my name as credit.
Ah,
But other than that, I would love to try Rapana dishes in Romania or Bulgaria. So let's
okay,
see.
so
Yeah.
we have to organize some events and uh,
Yeah.
do like a tasting there. Any volunteers to invite us to Romania for some tastings?
Actually, we were trying to do some event for this like tasting, like a street food kind of thing.
Yeah,
But yeah, we couldn't make it. So maybe in the future, with the collaboration with restaurants and hotels and maybe
yes.
gastronomy schools, yeah,
Maybe
that would
financed
be
by
amazing.
some of the ongoing projects.
Yeah.
Right.
Sibel, you need a break to do
No, I
something.
don't.
You don't. Okay.
I'm an
You've been
experienced
hyper.
moderator. I like to talk. Anyway. I'm here for anyone who wants to make comments because Ülgen did most of the work until now, so I'm very relaxed. Yeah.
Okay. Is
Anyway,
Bayram still online?
he said he can't be. He's out on sea now.
Okay.
Yeah. So our apologies. Yeah, this is what happens working with the marine environment. Irina,
Irina's
do you have
here.
Irina, I see you're still here. Do you have activities planned for this COP in Belém?
I couldn't hear you now. Can you
Do you
repeat,
have
please?
activities planned for this COP in Belém? Climate change COP this year?
Yeah, we are planning to have a joint event with BSEC and other regional sea conventions. But because we are not sure, last year it was in Baku
Yeah.
and it was no option for the online participation, so it was only offline and many people couldn't go there, so that's why we lost a status of, because we also invited the Danube Commission, many other partners, so it was only Caspian Sea, BSEC and us. So we are planning, but we are not yet advanced in this planning, but we will definitely do something while when we learn about the modalities.
Yeah. Because online, I mean, uh, Belém is going to be very expensive.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah, without online. But in Baku, the facilities were small and they were not able to ensure the online. So that's why our event was running not very smooth, I would say, but still okay.
well, okay, keep us informed, okay?
Yeah,
Thank
yeah, sure.
you. Yeah. All right, then I'll see you guys at 12. Okay, I think I will start this session. I see that Miss Chance is here. Her screen is open. So I would like to introduce Miss Georgia Chansey. She's from ICBSS. She will give a presentation on forging regional synergies as a key to a sustainable blue economy. So this panel does focus on the blue economy. So, yeah, Miss Georgie, if you'd like to introduce yourself and
Yes, thank you. Thank you
give your
very much.
presentation. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Nice to see familiar faces. Thank you for the invitation on this important day for our region. My name is actually Georgia Hanzi. And
Oh, I'm so sorry.
no, it's okay. It's a common mistake. It's a common mistake. So no worries. And I'm responsible for research and policy at the International Center for Black Sea Studies, which is a regional research and training center and a related body of the BSEC organization, which is operational for almost 30 years now and aims to support policy-oriented research, advocacy, and multilateral cooperation. And I'm actually very happy to take some leads from your previous comments, like a very important one, that how we can advance and maintain existing partnerships, and more importantly, how we can make the results of a project easily accessible and long-lived after the project ends, which is actually the aim of my presentation today. And I would like to show you what we did in Bridge and maybe inspire some future partnerships and initiatives in the region, which I like to say that it operates under a paradox. We are listening since the morning our previous speakers saying how the region faces a number of human and nature-driven multi-stressors. And I like to say that the Black Sea operates under this paradox, where on the one hand, we have the blue economy sectors having increasing economic performance. We see that tourism and fisheries are high in gross value added. And on the other hand, despite these blue economy developments, We see that the region faces a combination of stressors in an eternal loop, where the environmental degradation leads to lower economic activity, to challenges in the economic performance, which in order to mitigate it, the communities adopt unsustainable practices like overfishing and overtourism, which in their turn lead to further environmental stressors, and this continues in a loop. So we have this paradox of economic performance and environmental challenges. And under this paradox, regional cooperation in the region is progressing. And I'm happy to say, and I take also a positive feedback from previous speakers where they presented a number of projects. And earlier in the morning, Ambassador Panayotov highlighting the role of the BISEC organization, that there is a multiverse of partnerships, regional cooperation frameworks, projects in the region that operates in a circular mode and not a linear one. A circular mode starting from the policy level top down and the operational level bottom up, going in circles, trying to mitigate challenges, address challenges, capitalize on emerging and new opportunities, and identify priorities in order to make progress. And this doesn't stop, it goes on to address new challenges or persistent ones. And under this circular mode, we have important tools like the projects, and I have here added some of them, and policy papers like the SRIA and the Common Maritime Agenda. And I would like to focus on a methodology. Several methodologies are applied to facilitate this partnership and this circular cooperation among all the involved stakeholders. But today, and focusing also on what the bridge has done, I would like to highlight the methodology of knowledge transfer that has been applied not only in bridge, but also another regional project, the Rest Coast. Essentially, what is the knowledge transfer methodology? Is a structured collaborative process that aims to take the knowledge generated usually in controlled science-related environments like a research project and translate it into easily applicable and or replicated knowledge to be taken up by the relevant target groups outside and beyond its initial source, for example, a research project. This methodology is based on the Columbus Blue Society Knowledge Transfer Handbook. It is an iterative process, not a strictly linear one. It involves desk research, but most importantly, it involves co-work methods with policy stakeholders in order to have a co-designed and a result of co-work and not something that comes strictly from scientists or the environment of a project. As I said, this was first applied in the Rest Coast project, which resulted in a book that was published last year under the coordination of the BISEC organization, elaborated by the ICBSS in cooperation with the Catalonia University of Technology, and includes 6 knowledge pathways of actions that can help the coastal restoration of the Black Sea region, taking tools that were developed under the Rest Coast project. And I would like to continue with the bridge. We have heard earlier Pinar mentioning the important outputs the project has developed over the course of the 5 years. And we saw that it operates in 4 pillars: capacity building, society, engaging the stakeholders in innovation, and all this taking the lead from the scientific knowledge generated under the project. So what we did was try to develop a document that will capture the legacy, and all these outputs develop under the bridge and live even after the project ends in just 1 month period. All this knowledge is concentrated in the key deliverable of the project, the 2030 Blue Roadmap for the Black Sea, which is essentially a document that provides a common framework to advance the project results, generate new or maintain existing partnerships, support policy implementation, identify funding opportunities, priorities, consolidate key scientific knowledge, and ultimately enable stronger regional performance. It was developed following desk research and cooperation with the project partners and consultation with external stakeholders. The time frame of its proposed activities is short and medium until 2030. And as I said, it is addressed to the quadruple helix with emphasis given on the policy and decision makers. You can see that the official launch date of the document will be the final event of Bridge, and you can scan the QR code to register the 25th of November in Brussels. I would like to go some more and highlight some actions of the Blue Roadmap. As I said, it is still a working process, but we are safe to say that it has identified 38 knowledge products developed under the Bridge project in the course of these 5 years. These are grouped in 8 thematic groups, and which include 36 exploitation actions that aim to take these 30 knowledge outputs further and beyond the project. The groups are related to the 3 pillars of the 4 pillars of the project. First, we have 5 groups under the safe operating space, which is the science-related pillar, where we have, I don't know, maybe 20 exploitation actions as the project delivered a lot of scientific-related results. One of them presented earlier by Pinar, the DTO, in grouping E. Then we have the thematic group of innovation, of capacity building, and of the science policy dialogue and interaction. And as Pinar mentioned, 2 flagship outputs from the project, the Black Sea Accelerator and the Black Sea Young Ambassadors. I would like to focus on these 2 flagship outputs of the project and show you what the roadmap is proposing. First, let me say that when we say an exploitation action, this is the structure. We take the output, we take the project developed under the product developed under the project, and we propose an objective and a name for it to be viable and applicable after the project ends. We suggest a format that could be a project, another project, a coordination action, a training, another event, a framework, anything that can be applicable and facilitate the taking up of the knowledge output. The action includes the required actors that will help facilitate the viability and the realization of the action, the geographic scope, national, regional, cross-regional, a suggested time frame, and of course the policy relevant of the action to EU and Black Sea policies. And as I said, I will use 2 knowledge outputs from the project to show you how this is proposed. We all are familiar with the Black Sea Young Ambassadors program that is operational since 2020, coordinated by the IMS Middle East Technical University in Turkey. Yes, I'm
Can we
concluding.
wrap up a bit? Yeah.
Yes. And so the roadmap is proposing that the stakeholders come together to secure the long-term continuity of the initiative outside a project funding opportunity, and it identifies actors that can facilitate that, the time frame and the scope, which is regional. And then the Black Sea Accelerator program, which will also give lead to the next speaker who has done something similar and in a sense continues the legacy of the Black Sea Accelerator. And we see here the geographic scope, the time frame, and the actors that should be involved in order to materialize the viability of the Black Sea Accelerator and its continuity, because it is an important knowledge output for the region. And I would like to conclude with the final conference. Please join the QR code to register to follow the conference either on site or online. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. So while we listen to these presentations, we can clearly see that most of them are, compatible, and they complement each other and they strengthen each other. So this project will be ending, this year. But then we have the Black Sea large marine ecosystems, which seems to be building up on the outputs that it can build up on the outputs that you are coming up with. So maybe we can discuss that at the end. So I will give the floor to Mr. Glenn Pierce Oros, who will be discussing the blueing the Black Sea. And perhaps, Glenn, you can also, while talking, talk about the synergies, instead of just mentioning the activities and the objectives. Maybe you can share with us some synergies and highlights with and challenges, with the previous project. So, yeah, so we'd like to hear how you plan to take use of the previous projects. And yeah, so the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Sibyl, and thank you for this initiative, which I think is really an extraordinary space to hear everything that's been going on. And to be very candid, I feel like Blowing the Black Sea, BBC is the new kid on the block. Because we're hearing from decades of experience and making reference to previous cycles, and in terms of synergies, I do think that we certainly have made the effort, but I think it will be evident how we're able to stand on the shoulders of those that came before us in many of these efforts. And so if I can share my screen, I can start. I believe that's the.
Yeah, we see. Thank
You
you.
see it. Good.
It's not full screen though.
Let me see how I can do that. 1 second.
It's great to have new kids on the block. I like that analogy. Yeah.
Okay,
Otherwise,
slideshow.
otherwise things get boring, It's great.
Yes, yes. So Blowing the Black Sea is yet another GEF funded project. This is a GEF regional project. And one of the ways that I like to start these types of discussions, and I know this is largely unnecessary for this group, but it's really a response to the pollution, the endemic pollution problems in the Black Sea, which we are all very familiar with. But this, and so because there have been long-term pollution problems, because there have been many different efforts, the World Bank proposed to the GEF a different type of approach in terms of blowing the Black Sea, and the approach that we're taking has everything to do with innovation. And how can we use innovation to help move the ball forward, to help move things forward? And so this is how Blowing the Black Sea began. And just some quick parameters in terms of the budget that you see here, 4 years of implementation. This is a World Bank project. We work in UNOPS very closely with our World Bank colleagues in order to move this forward. And there are two main components to this effort. we launched, I failed to mention, we launched in June, so just about 4 or 5 months ago, in Istanbul at BSEC. So we're very happy to continue that collaboration with BSEC. And the main two components have to do first with making the case to invest in pollution prevention and reduction. And so you'll notice if you look at this carefully, we're really trying to set up an even more robust pipeline of investments that go well beyond this particular project. And go well beyond GEF. We hope that some of this work will be useful, not only for future World Bank, but future MDBs, for future investments from the European Commission. And we're starting by looking for looking at national policy and institutional frameworks that can align with international standards. And these international standards in the countries that we're working in are EU directives. And so we've heard a lot about the EU directives. We've also heard quite a bit about the Bucharest Convention and the Black Sea Action Plan coming out of the Bucharest Convention. So we will be working with the four target countries, Georgia, Moldova, Turkey, and Ukraine, to be able to develop a pathway forward towards greater alignment with EU directives and international standards, as well as investment recommendations. So that's key. But the main dish, to borrow the Black Sea Cookbook's spirit, the main dish is here in component 2, and it is the Eco Innovation Challenge. And I'll go in much more detail in a few seconds. But the Eco Innovation Challenge, together with a subcomponent for preparation of investment projects, is really intended to first break through with different innovative approaches to pollution, and to line up some studies that can help grease the wheels for greater investment in the future. Of course, we have a lot going on in terms of our third component of engagements, stakeholder engagement plans, communication strategies, environmental and social safeguards. But we do, and this is perhaps a request for everyone, we do see this as a major communications opportunity for the Black Sea neighborhood. And I'd like to underline something I think that Sibel said, which is let's make sure that on the Blueing the Black Sea website, we're able to include outputs from other projects, vice versa, certainly. But that will be extremely important. But let me dive a bit more deeply in the remaining minutes on the Eco Innovation Challenge, because this is really a rare opportunity for the Black Sea community. And this approach is essentially an effort to combine, and you'll see what I mean in a few seconds, to combine not only the lessons from the Black Sea Accelerator, which Georgia mentioned, and we're very grateful for that early on for the advice that we received from the Black Sea Accelerator. We're combining not only what's happened before, but what has been best practice elsewhere. But the big difference with this Eco Innovation Challenge is that we are focused on helping to implement innovations in Black Sea countries. So if we're successful this year, this time next year, we will already be seeing some of that implementation happen. And I welcome all of us to join that journey and learn from what will be happening. This is about 30 seconds, Sibel, so it's not very long.
No, we have time. That's okay.
So that's one example of the communications efforts that we have behind the Eco Innovation Challenge, really trying to get as many people, and I encourage all of you who are connected today, share this with your networks. We can provide the framework, but we will only be successful if we receive expressions of interest and receive concepts from all the brilliant minds that are out there. And again, this is a global competition, so you do not have to be from a Black Sea country to participate. There are two ways of participating. The first window on the left is a focus country window, and this is where we want to see actual implementation take place. And so we will not only have this competition to identify the best ideas, but we will give the winners substantial grant support, as well as mentorship, business development, technical assistance from an international accelerator to be able to implement in Turkey, in Georgia, and in Moldova. The second way of participating is through the Greater Black Sea window. And this window is for earlier stage concepts. We do not expect the winners to implement, but we do expect our in-kind mentorship over 6 months worth $20,000 to advance the technological readiness level of the concept to move this forward so that it's ready to attract investment and ready to be implemented in the near future. What is key, and I've shared this with some of you, hopefully this looks familiar, is that we are asking that all these fantastic innovators focus on one of the 4 pollution problems that have been identified. Eutrophication from agricultural and livestock runoff, eutrophication from untreated municipal wastewater, chemical industrial pollution, including war-related pollution, and marine litter, including war-related marine litter. And so these final 2 clearly are trying to reflect the status of what's happening today, and also wanting to signal clearly to our Ukrainian colleagues that this is an opportunity to get ready for reconstruction, to start testing some ideas, moving those ideas forward so that they are ready once we're in a reconstruction phase. By eco-innovation, it could be new ideas. It needs to be a new idea for the country where it's being implemented. So this means that if there's a good proven concept in Romania to identify plastic pollution in riversheds, but it has not been implemented yet in Moldova, that would be an innovation for Moldova. So that would be fair. Certainly prototypes would be of interest, as well as new processes. So it's not just a technology, a service, an output. It could be a new way of doing business, which we would be interested in. So our goal, colleagues, is really trying to make the most of this partnership for impact. And I'd like to flag one lesson that we've learned over these past several months, which is it's not enough to speak with the usual suspects, with our natural ecosystem. And I would count this meeting as a natural ecosystem for Blue in the Black Sea. Just yesterday, I went to a meeting called Innovation for Romania. I'm in Romania right now, outside of Bucharest. And it was fantastic to speak with different IT firms, not related to the Black Sea. They have a different cadence. They have a different way of working. They speak a different language. We need to bridge over to that ecosystem and get them interested in applying their brilliant ideas for what we think is important, which is reducing pollution in the Black Sea. So with that, Sibel, I would like to wish everyone a happy International Black Sea Day, happy Black Sea Action Day, and thank you very much for this opportunity.
No, thank you very much for your presentation. Yes, so at one point I was thinking of placing you in the previous panel because it's about pollution, but yours is more about innovation and therefore enabling a sustainable transition towards a sustainable blue economy. And I just, towards the end, at the discussion, I think we should talk about enlarging the stakeholder groups, out of the usual suspects, as you said it, because, I think that is key in increasing access, increasing the ownership of many different communities. So I think we should leave that towards the end. I will now give the floor to Mr. Cumhur Haldun, who is the project manager, to talk about innovative marine technologies from Istanbul University. He can introduce the project himself. The
Hi,
floor is yours.
dear moderator and all. I am not a manager. Manager is
Project coordinator, I was told.
coordinator. Yeah.
It's
Prof.
okay.
Yelda Aktan
Okay.
not could not attend the meeting due to health problem, and she sent her apologies to all. And I share.
Are you sharing your presentation? Yeah.
Yeah.
There are many initiatives going on in, enabling a sustainable blue economy and the transition. So I think this is a good example of one of them.
Thank you.
So if possible, 10, 15 minutes at most. Thank you. Now we see the screen.
Okay.
Yes.
No, it's better now.
Yes. Very
Okay.
nice.
And EFSINO's project is main regional partnership uh, by the Integrate Next Black Sea Basin Program. Our consortium includes six institutions from 5 countries: Greece, Bulgaria, Romania, Georgia, and Turkey. Together combine scientific knowledge, local expertise, and innovative technologies to strengthen marine monitoring and conservation across the Black Sea. As you know, the Black Sea is unique basin with high productivity, yet under strong pressure from human and nature stressors. It costs host key habitats like seagrass, meadows, and macroalgal forest and coralligenous formations. Among them, seagrass meadow play a vital role as primary producers, but they also among the most threatened by human activities. Protecting these habitats is essential to sustain biodiversity and the healthy functioning of coastal ecosystems. As also is well known, Black Sea has suffered a major decline due to land-based anthropologic sources and the offshore human activities like fishing, tourism, mineral extraction, marine transports, and sewage outfalls dumping. Beside this complex natural system, limited connection to the Mediterranean Sea, to Turkish Strait, and makes the replenishment of seawater is ever slow. Seagrass meadows also among the most important and productive coastal ecosystem. In Black Sea, species like Zostera marina, uh, Zostera nolte, and Cyanognathus nodosa serve as a key primary producers, providing shelter and nursery grounds for many invertebrates and fish. They stabilize sediments, reduce coastal erosion, and capture carbon, helping to mitigate climate change. They play an important role in the nutrient cycle. Um, they absorb nutrients and other pollutants. However, when the coastal pressure increase, seagrass meadows become stressed and may decline. Along the Turkish Black Sea coast, six seagrass taxa have been identified, usually distributed between the surface and about 6 meters depth, with sparse patch reaching up to 17 meters. With the EFSINOX project, knowledge gaps of the Black Sea coastal ecosystem will be filled by developing observation capacity with the innovative technology and international cooperation, and will be contributed to the prediction of the Black Sea and sustainable blue economy approach by providing harmonized data for EU policies, and most importantly, public awareness will be ensured through planned activities. EFSINOX aims to build a smart, sustainable, and cost-effective monitoring network connecting the Black Sea and the North Aegean, improve existing research capacities, and supporting EU and BCMAP marine monitoring needs. EFSINOX mainly focus on understanding and protecting the Black Sea seabed, improve data exchange with the Mediterranean, and developing science-based tools for better marine management. And here is some EFSINOX Sea of actions. This project, we use some technological devices like micro AUVs. This AUV in Greece, one of in Greece partner and one of in Bulgarian partner use this device. Also, Georgia has a buoy in the picture you see, and we use ROV device like this. This device produced by a Turkish team, Yıldız Technical University team made this device. And the results has some kiosk in the Bulgarian section, and the Bulgarian team like this beautiful images of Black Sea seasides. And EFSINOX studies in Turkey focus on the Black Sea coast of Turkey, extended east and west coast of the Istanbul Strait. In these areas with K habitats, seagrass mapping will be carried out the remote operating vehicle ROV, and sometime verification will be carried out by scuba diving. So marine biodiversity will be monitoring with innovative methods. Coastal human activities will be evaluated in relation to benthic ecosystems. In addition, the terrestrial pressure underwater monitoring will also reveal the impact of marine activities like destructive fishing activities, mooring, coastal fueling, and also non-target data like NIS, marine litter, coastal habitats. During and after the project period, public awareness will be raised through training, materials, and workshop and seminars. In the first step, we use aerial images for general view of the site. We identified specific areas with a high density of seagrass, of other key algal communities, and we select these sites for detailed observations. We take images by towing the ROV, and we use them assess habitat conditions and also check for marine litter. In addition, we confirm the images with scuba diving. Finally, the cover of microphytes will be estimated using the photoquadrat method. In our study area consists of 3 different regions, as from the Cilingöz Natural Park to the Cebeci Peninsula and Istanbul Strait. The pilot sites determined during the field work according to presence of macrophytic communities. In the summer period, we start first field work on Bosphorus. So we focus on areas with macrophytic communities. And data processing, in the first step, after then, we identify specific areas, as we see, K communities, and select these detailed observations. Phytobenthic species identified from ROV images for each site, and we use them, the access habitat conditions, and also check for marine litter. In addition, we confirm the images with the scuba diving, and the cover macrophytes will be estimated using the photoquadrat method. And finally, the relationship between phytobenthic ecological status and human impact will be analyzed.
Toparlayabilir misiniz? 1-2 dakika kaldı.
Bitiyor. Çok az.
Tamam, süper. Sağ ol.
The project contribute to mapping critical habitats by the technology based monitoring methods. Will improve harmonized methods for data collection and analysis on seabed habitats. Raise public awareness on Black Sea seagrass ecosystem protection. Provide training to young scientists, building the capacity of monitoring studies and local communities in understanding and protecting their coastal environments. Support the implementation of policies and other to protect, restore critical habitats. And when consider the outputs in terms of contribution to European policies, a project will be fill the data gaps and update existing data for Turkish coast of Black Sea by including non-target data like non-indigenous species or marine litter. And it will provide the necessary data for EU policies with cost-effective and no time-consuming. It will make more data available for environmental reporting and spatial planning. There is a clear relationship between ecosystem health and blue economy, well recognized. Healthy ecosystems will become more resilient for climatic change conditions and increase recreational economic benefits. The environment benefit of the project will be really the impact of coastal activities and sensitive ecosystems and increase the public awareness, protect these habitats with the activities during the project. In the Black Sea, protecting and monitoring blue carbon habitats like seagrasses and macroalgal forests is essential. They play a key role in fighting climate change. And thank you for all attention. Finish.
Okay, thank you very much. We're totally on time, so I appreciate it. And just so there's no misunderstanding in my introduction, Cumhur Bey is from Istanbul University working on this project, correct? So,
Yes, yes.
so there's no misunderstanding. So, okay, so we have 15 minutes for our discussion, and many of our participants, I think, are no longer with us. So perhaps we can have a more online debate. I mean, it doesn't have to be written in comments. Would everyone be okay with this? So we can have a discussion and we can ask each other questions. So perhaps I can start with one question. We're talking about in all these presentations, of course, as usual, it's very important to get different stakeholder input and ownership. And when I listen to the presentations, I don't see business, the private sector. So how are you planning to enlarge your stakeholder, you know, the stakeholders by including more perhaps the private sector into this, or do you think it's necessary? So this is one question I have in mind. But of course, first I will let everyone ask questions and comments. So please feel free to take the floor. Yes, I know no one's from the private sector here, so it's okay. Because I remember in '96 when we developed the Black Sea Strategic Plan, the regional plan, the main concern was always finding financing, funding. But now, I mean, I don't think we would have ever imagined having so many large funded projects in the region. So, it's a very good progress. So maybe I can ask Miss Georgia, for example.
Georgia, yeah.
Georgia, maybe, for example, you're talking about the 2030 Blue Roadmap. Um, did you mention how the funding is planned for it?
Thank you. Thank you for the. Actually, I was going to comment on your question about including the business and the industry in our projects, which is a twofold reply, let's say.
Yeah.
On the one hand, yes, industry is included in every project, and they are a group of stakeholders that all activities target. They are invited in the events, they are invited in the consultations. We sometimes, like Bridge, had a specific work package of activities related to blue economy and innovation and entrepreneurship. And the other aspect of the coin business is exactly the funding, which is a challenging one. And I mentioned that in the 2030 Blue Roadmap, we have 38 exploitation actions, 38 actions that can be translated into future projects, future events like the high-tech summit for the Black Sea, which can be an annual or a biannual event for the region involving innovators, startups, and entrepreneurship. But the main challenge to actually materialize these 38 actions is funding. And I know that we mostly rely on EU funding through Horizon projects or other funding frameworks from the EU, but that should not be, as we say in Greek, apanakia, a solution, and one size fits all. It's the EU there, so let's ask for funding. We were happy in the region to see the launch of the BBC, the Blue, the Black Sea, that receives funding from another donor than the EU. And what we were hoping, and I'm glad that also BASIC is here. BASIC also has the project development fund that relies on the donation of its member states. It was revitalized. It actually granted a project funding, but still this is small. So what should be always raise awareness when we have events and dialogue and consultation is this: how can we can mobilize other funders, other donors to invest in projects in the region? And I want to give the floor to pass the floor to Glenn, who
Yes.
maybe have something more to add. Hopefully optimistic one.
Thank you. Thank you, Sibel. Thank you, Georgia. I wanted to, I think this is a great point to focus our discussion on, and wanted to share an experience which was really helpful for us as we were looking for ways of really making sure everyone knows about the Eco Innovation Challenge. I was in Georgia and came across the Georgia Innovation Technology Agency, JITA. And when I started sitting down with Jita and others, I quickly realized we don't even speak the same language sometimes. And so we need to do an extra effort of adjusting the way we approach and the types of incentives that we present to the JITAs of the Black Sea. There's an EU for Innovation regional project that we met with. There is a very dynamic network out there that we do not know about. And this is something that we're learning as we go along. But I would suggest, colleagues, that we need to find ways of really breaking into other industries, getting other industries at the table or asking for a seat at their table, even better. And it's not just limited to the innovation ecosystem. It could be related to the fisheries ecosystem, to the shipping industry. I met yesterday with a farmer from Romania and a farming association. In a Venn diagram, we're overlapping very slightly, but we need to have those farmer associations also involved if we're going to address pollution in the Black Sea. So my thought is we need to adjust the way we speak to these different stakeholders and hopefully drive more aggressively when we find openings, such as the openings that we're coming across with the Eco Innovation Challenge.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much, Glenn. Paul?
Yes, thank you. I'm very interested to hear about the Eco Innovation Fund. It reminds me of an initiative from the European Investment Bank for its National Capital Facility, finance facility, which it ran for about 8 years and then stopped it about 4 or 5 years ago. And I myself, I'm a private entrepreneur. I run a company called Nature Bureau, and I also was very interested in this whole idea about how to invest in sustainable companies and so on in the East. And I have joint ventures in Bulgaria on tourism for school children. I have one a partnership in Romania, mainly on science research, and another one in Ukraine, which was doing ecotourism until 2014, and that all collapsed. And I was also making pellets from reed biomass, managing the reed beds to improve the biodiversity And the reeds we harvested for that were converted into pellets. And then after the second Russian incursion, we had to sell that all up because the port of Rennie was being bombed every so often, and all the employees were not happy to be in the shed. So, I mean, apart from and so there's the practical examples, but we did learn a lot from that. And one of the things that the European Investment Bank and we discovered was you can get up to about level 3 on the technology scale, but as soon as you want to get from, let's say, the pilot project and the proved technology, it's very difficult to find the next 1 million euros, for example, to grow. There's no facility around. The Europe, EBRD, for example, when I was talking to them, they would invest 5 million, but not less, because of the costs of the capital management involved. So, it's not the first time I've seen this, and I've got personal experience of it. That you're basically working really much in the family and friends. I mean, I raised €250,000 in private capital to do our projects. Some of them are still going, but to grow them, to find actually a bank or anybody that would invest in this kind of environmental work it's fiendishly difficult. So you'll end up probably working with larger businesses rather than these small technology people. It's would be my experience. What we need is the World Bank to make microfinance a pathway if you want to get these entrepreneurs really growing, so that every stage they can have access to angel investors, to corporates who will actually grow them up. You can do software in your backyard, but if you want to do practical stuff, you need money for the equipment and the development, and it just isn't there.
Okay, any comments about this? Elif, Akın, yes. If you can introduce yourself, that would be great.
Hello. First of all, yeah, I'm Elif, and I'm currently a biology graduate. I just graduated this week, and I want to get into the field of marine sciences. And thank you, Sibel, for inviting me to this conversation. So my comment would be a little bit more on the general side and a question, perhaps to everyone that's present here. So we talked about a lot of, or a lot of people have talked about pollution and how to invest in innovations that would take the pollution out of our environment and stuff. But I also do believe that it's also important to address the cause, which is polluting. And I was wondering if there were any, for example, educational activities going on to educate, I don't know, artisanal fisheries, large-scale fisheries, without attacking and offending their traditional lifestyles, for example. Are there any educational activities that are going on with the people who are actually involved in the um, cause of going into the oceans or seas, for example, and then contributing to this pollution? Doesn't have to be only fisheries, but yeah, stakeholders such as small scale.
Uh, would someone like to answer this, or shall I give the floor to Glenn?
There was a project that was run in
Hey.
Istanbul exactly on that, clearing up litter, plastic litter, which we also have an NGO in Ukraine, Agricola. I can't remember its name now. It finished about 3 or 4 years ago, but I don't know. Do we have an email address or contacts for people who are here? Because I could send
Yes,
some
we'll
more
share it with
information.
everyone. And I also believe Ayaka wanted to make a comment. I'll share
Yeah,
contacts. That's a
yeah.
very good idea, Paul. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ellie, for the question. Yes, a lot of projects have educational parts as well for all kinds of stakeholders, including fishermen, including sailors, or people who use seas. But I think the real education should be done to actually everybody, I mean, all the humans living along the coast. Because when we talk about marine litter, it's not just the, fishermen dumping their nets in the sea. There are also people dumping the garbage in the river and they eventually end up in the sea. So I think that kind of ocean literacy education activity is very important. And thank you for pointing that out.
Glenn? Thank you, Ayeka. Glenn?
Quickly, I wanted to also comment on Paul's very helpful reflection, but for what Elif asked about, there is a blue flag certification for sustainable tourism, which I think is an interesting platform. It's very well developed in Turkey. My suspicion is that it's for the Mediterranean and Aegean coast and not very active on the Black Sea coast. So there's one opportunity to build off of something that exists, taking it to the Black Sea. But Georgia does not have any blue flag certification process. So they're interested in tapping into the Eco Innovation Challenge to see if they can take that blue flag certification to the hotels of Batumi, for example. So there are some, I think, rays of light there that are encouraging. In terms of what you were sharing, Paul, I think that's great insight in terms of what's the missing middle for many of the entrepreneurs. And one of the ways that we've been thinking about this and just put it out there, put it on the table, is we're expecting to generate many more ideas than we can fund. So in a sense, we will be starting to identify a potential market. And can we then take all that potential market and start sharing it with other partners? And it may be EBRD, it may be EIB, it may be World Bank, it may be IFC, to start pointing out what are some of the opportunities there. I know it's not a quick solution to the to the 1 million euro investment need, but this is how we can use what we're doing to start, a ripple effect in terms of where things go. My final point, because I know we're close to out of time,
Yes.
is this Eco Innovation Challenge will end with a major Shark Tank event on the Black Sea in June 2026.
Oh, that's interesting.
So again, we're
Okay.
looking at this as a major communications push,
Okay. Thank you
and
very much.
you're all invited.
Yeah, thank you. I want to end it, but I'd like to end the session. So thank you very much. But before I end it, is it okay if I ask Marcella one very quick question? Because you're mentioning you're going to develop uh, national or regional action plans for or strategies for the blue economy, right? You'll be developing blue economy strategies. And I believe especially at the EU level, they've been doing very in-depth strategies for years. So will you be coordinating with the Mediterranean region or the EU to build up on their experience? Or like, how will that process start? Because the strategy is important to guide all these investments and the education and the awareness, right? It's the bigger picture, so to say.
Okay, thank you for this question. So at the moment, I cannot answer how this will be taken because this is the project that the execution agency is actually UNESCO. So definitely there will be a there will be a coordination. There will be looking at the lessons learned from the other seas from Mediterranean, and it might be that there will be that the project will come up with a set of recommendations for these blue economy strategies or something like that. So at this point, I cannot tell you how exactly we are going
No,
to
but
do that.
interesting, yeah. All right, so before we close the session, would anyone like to make any other comments or final remarks?
Sibel, we want to have a group photo taken, so
Well, Arda said we don't need to have the photo because it's being recorded, but we can still have it. So if everyone
but a
can,
lot of people, a lot of people just don't have the camera open. So if
okay,
possible,
that's so true. Yes, can everyone open their cameras, please? Thank you for reminding me, Ayaka.
You're welcome.
Is it okay if we turn on our cameras?
Mm.
There are not many people left. I should have done this before, but okay.
Yeah, that's fine. We are the hardworking people.
Yeah.
Skipping lunch.
Is this okay?
Yeah, I think so. So, Nail or Sare, please take, or Arda.
Naid, are you taking it?
It's already being recorded, so I can just take the screenshot
Okay.
from the meeting.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a good reminder. Yeah. All right. Okay. So I think we can end this session, this Black Sea Day event. And we look forward to having our next event next year on our 30th anniversary. I thank every one of you, each one of you, for your contributions. Great, very thought-provoking presentations. And we hope to keep in touch. Maybe we'll have another follow-up conference soon. Who knows? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah,
Thank
bye-bye.
you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye
Great.
bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Sibel.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.